Yeah.
He was here. If you were here, you would have no control. Here, this wrist took everything. Yeah. God damn. You like this? Hotep Con.
Kanye on that drum. All right, so welcome back to Sunday's Corner, everybody. How you doing, sis? Welcome to the show.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming through. If it seems like, oh, well, she's not even giving these people intros. No, I don't give them intros. I let them speak for them themselves.
I thought my plight in life was about saving the world until I realized I didn't have the skills or the tools to save myself.
Yep. If you're not activating now, then what are you doing? Wasting my time, wasting your time. So let's go. Until next week.
Welcome. Her name is Kim Clayson. Clap it up for Kim Clayson. We love it. Kim Clayson, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
It does look good. We are going to be flipping seats. Like I said, a lot of the states did go through redistricting. Maryland was one of them, Florida, New Jersey. So we'll be flipping a lot of seats in really good areas.
Sonny Johnson.
Oh, is it on? Like, it ain't like I'm not loud enough. I can't hear it. You know, I can be loud without you saying. And that, you know, before that, I was always like, I'm Hotep adjacent. You know, I would always say that. But when you got to that point, when I was like, okay, now it's Hotep.
What point did you get to?
Hotep the bill. The point where when you hit the realization that it's not about necessarily winning the argument or fighting with the left or fighting with, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not about that. Now, I'm going to create the platform where you can find the content.
These last 5 years of my life have been absolutely amazing, and Chad has been a mentor, helped shape my brain. So if they call me a radical, I've been radicalized by Chad. We can blame him. He's the one that turned me into an anarchist.
Who's the bigger black supremacy? Talking about you guys.
The person who made sure we were government compliant and made us a non-profit organization officially. Shout out to Trish. Clap that for her. Did an amazing job helping me out. I really appreciate her. Shout out to Crypto Wendy for coming out. Thank you, Crypto Wendy. Wendy, shout out to Syscoin, our sponsor. You know, shout out to Brody McFarland.
Secret Service, my handler. Secret Service. Arrogant like a mother.
try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Two, one, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
What's up, y'all? The Grift Report starts now. What up, people? Welcome. It's 2 p.m. Hope your day is going mighty well. You know what we got to do before we get this thing started.
Hey, buddy, what you cooking?
Step 1, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step 2, kill your old self and become new. Step 3, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step 4, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, step, hey, Christ walk, step, step. And soon you gon' have to put the meal down and get some meat. Preacher sound good when you a baby. Christ, that ain't that sweet. Easy being Christian on the net, but what about in them streets? We at war with all these evil rulers. Are you down for beef? You gon' get persecuted by the world, even by your friends. It's gon' be the closest people to you. You thought that's your man. Devil working, he gon' push the limit to see where you stand. Especially when you have a weak moment. He know that's his chance. But you down to lose for the kingdom. You might lose your bands. I mean, look at me as an example. I done locked my fans. All these demons trying to bring you down anywhere they can. Are you gonna endure it to the end? Tell me what's your plan. Step 1, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step 2, kill your old self and become new. Step 3, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step 4, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, step, hey, Christ walk, step, step.
At this point, it's like common sense that he coming. So I ain't even really Christ walking, I'm running. From all of my sins, I'm making amends with all of the people I dislike. Because if I don't, then I'ma go down with the ones I dislike. Down with the wicked. Down and conflicted. Tell me, why would I ever risk it? This new life, why would I end it? I gave God my dependence. After he left his imprint, it was all switched in an instant when I was transformed from a misfit. I gotta follow the covenant and get it right before he come again. On fire for Christ, I'm bubbling. Don't touch unless you got an oven mitt. Left everyone I was in trouble with. When I sacrificed it, he doubled it. I don't put faith in no other men. Yahweh is my only government. I'm the light child.
Step 1, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step 2, kill your old self and become new. Step 3, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step 4, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, step, hey, Christ walk, step,
Yeah, I say the owe me dead in the cemetery. Go ahead and write that obituary. About to preach on the beat.
Christ Walk by Bryson Gray. You know I gotta play my theme music. Before we get started. The Grift Report, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Sometimes on weekends, depending on how good the grift is. This weekend I won't be streaming live. I'll be streaming for my locals people. Make sure you check your locals this weekend. I'm gonna stream live this weekend from my locals. Drop all my BTS, all that good exclusive content going to my locals. So if you on YouTube or Rumble, go to Rumble, hit the join button, get in my locals community. It's up. Man, tomorrow, special guest Sonny Johnson coming on the platform. You already know. Special guest lineup is looking insane. Without further ado, let's put my hand deep down inside this grift bag. I already know where I'm starting today. It's a lot of beef on the timeline, so we're gonna start with the beef. Damn it, Elon. Oh. Yo. Twitter been doing something funky lately, bro. Here we go. It's been like rearranging my stuff. All right. So, looks like some beef between Curtis Coon and Jason Whitlock. As you know, they had a podcast together for some time, and looks like things have gone sour. So we're going to take a look at this thing here, see what's going on between my old heads. If Whitlock know like I know, he'll apologize on his show, or two, thank me for all that I've done. He better kiss my ass clean. Pause. Kissed his pumpernickel ass the way he kissed that Wonder Bread. Oh my goodness. No Vaseline. All right, so here's the story. Curtis Coney says, just spoke with Tommy Sotomayor. I'm going to set the record straight with Fatlock. Wow. He must have forgot how giddy he got when Glenn Beck gave him a new job in the big house. Unemployed Fatlock was a nice guy. Once he got back in the big house, he reverted to the guy that no one liked. He says, my regular dealings with him started when he left Fox. We spoke often, and he was a humble guy. That's the Whitlock I thought was cool. He had no friends, though. He took it upon himself to steer me in a direction beneficial to him. Nothing he suggested put a dime in my pocket. Whitlock is not authentic in his presentation. He's a sports guy trying to be a social commentary guy. At some point, he realized ridiculing black people would endear him to conservatives. He created this pseudo Rush Limbaugh persona to make money. He knows what's expected of him. When he lost his job at Fox, he would call me every day. Why? He had no friends. He had no original ideas. He burned his bridge to black people and chasing butter biscuits. I never called him. I didn't need him. He needed me. Then he got his opportunity with Outkick. Honestly, Whitlock was still cool when he got with Outkick. Still didn't do shit for me. But I didn't ask for anything. Wasn't looking for anything. Then he went to the White House and he invited me. I'm not going to lie. I thought to myself, he could be a friend. At the White House, I met some heavy hitters from the right. I also met Papa John, who was embroiled in a racial scandal. Papa John told me he'd rather be known as a child molester than a racist who seemed weird to me. Call me racist any day before a rapist chomo. After the White House, that's kind of wild. Wow. So, all right, let's just continue. You'll see what happens as the story continues. It says, after the White House, I had an idea. I figured Papa John could make a donation to CAY2foundation.org, and I'd get him good press. For enough money, I'd have gotten him the NAACP award. When I presented it to Whitlock, he reacted as if I took the last piece of chicken. So that's the Coleman Young Foundation. At that point, I realized Whitlock was just an opportunist pretending to be a friend. I'm the executive director of that program, and he never offered to donate a nickel, but he donated money to Jalen Rose's charter school in Detroit and donated money to Sean King, a.k.a. Talcum X. What? That's not true. There's no way Whitlock donated to Sean King. What? Oh, man. Then Whitlock ran into issues with Clay Travis at Outkick. Whitlock had put no money in, and according to him, he was given 22% equity stake in Outkick. He got upset because Clay's friend Sam never paid for his 10% stake and was charging Outkick $42K a month for marketing. Yeah, it's kind of weird when, you know, you're part of a company, but that company is purchasing services from you. I'm sure this, you know, it might be normal for some people, but for some it might look like bad faith. Anyway, let's continue. Said the white boys did what the white boys do to niggas. Whitlock been in white spaces for so long he forgot he was a nigga. He walked away from Outkick in a hissy fit after building the brand with his following fresh from Fox. He walked away trying to sabotage Outkick. It failed. They sold Outkick for $50 million, and Whitlock left $12 million on the table. Damn. Now, I don't know what Whitlock bank account looked like, but I'm sure $12 million would have looked real good in there. He hit a low point. He called me to do politicking. I did it because I felt bad for him. I don't give a shit about media. I go out of my way to piss people off, but I did it for him. He didn't help me. I helped him. I made Whitlock likable to black people. I helped him find acceptance among people he abused, people he stepped on for crumbs. He used politicking to get Blaze to acknowledge him because without it, he was nothing. He kept telling me he had an offer for me. I said nothing. I said nothing because I work for no one. I literally do what I want, when I want, every single day. You can't put me on a schedule. So when he proposed, I go to Fearless with him. I declined. The only one upset was him, not me. I had launched School TV 2 months prior. He was seething. The man had to be seething because he went from calling me every day to not calling me at all, and we never had an argument. I simply wanted no parts of skinning and grinning for white folks at Blaze. I ain't that kind of nigga. He is, though. You know who is that kind of nigga? Me.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Glenn Beck, call me up, man. I got a couple of years dancing in my dancing shoes for you. Let me know when you need my services, Glenn. I'm sure we can come to a nice little agreement. A little 2-year contract. I'm down. Let's bring the Grift Report to Blaze TV. Let's bring the Grift Report to Blaze TV. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. The last straw for me was when he questioned me about placing our last episode on School TV instead of YouTube. Why should he care? He didn't want to help me in any way. He only sought to use me, but I was hit from the Papa John incident and moved accordingly. That guy is a piece of shit. Man. Well, let's see something here. School Sotomayor. Do we have any clips from this interview? Trying to find some clips. We don't have no clips yet. Chat, you ain't got no clips? Streets need some clips. Tommy says, what? Did you watch Tommy on Fearless? No, I don't watch Fearful. I called it Fearful. Twitter told me. Then I called Tommy and got the full scoop. Or be cynical. Maybe a better choice of words. I know you can take care of you, but that whole segment on Fearless was just odd. Tommy says Whitlock mentioned Shamika stripping. What? Well, Shamika has already mentioned that. We know. I interviewed I interviewed Shamika and we spoke about that. So that's not new or news or shocking or anything like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the Fearless clip. Nah, it doesn't look like we're gonna find it. Looks like there's no Fearless clips. If anybody has the Fearless clip, at me on Twitter with it. Timestamp, whatever. We'll pull it up on the show. So, you know, to be determined what's going on with the charades, but it looks like it's, you know, continuing. Pedo beef. I'm sorry, petty beef. I'm reading somebody just put racist in the pedo murder. Let that sink in. Yeah, that was kind of weird that Papa John said he'd rather be a pedo than be a racist. No, that's not the correct. It's not the correct response, Papa John. There was another comment in the chat. Where is that chat? Oh, here it is. He says Hotep Con looked like a spooky CIA event. Oh, Tanah Ricks PhD is in the building. Tanah, what up, bro? Spicy report today. All right, let's not waste any more time on this. I just, you know, I saw that on the timeline and I was like, well, we got to talk about it. Schoon's my guy. Whitlock's my guy. And, you know, trying to see what's going on. What's the source of all of this? I'd like to see them, you know, come together and make amends if possible. If possible. I wish I could. Am I allowed to say my involvement in all of this? Trying to think if it's spicy or not. Okay, I'll say this. Whitlock did reach out to me to work together. He did mention, you know, hey, he said, Hotep, you know, we don't need these people and, you know, we could do this ourselves, you know, type talk. And he's like, are you down? I said, yeah, I'm fucking down, you know, let me know, let me know what you got in mind. I'm down to collab. I told Uncle Hotep because he invited Uncle Hotep too. And nothing ever came of it, you know. Next thing you know, he popped up and he had Fearless. And I was happy for him. I was like, oh, cool. You know, you got your show with Glenn Beck and Fearless. I don't have to be included in that, you know. Maybe Glenn Beck said no. Maybe he brought it to Glenn Beck. And he was like, yo, I got Hotep Jesus down, you know. And Glenn Beck was like, nah, you got to do this solo or whatever. I don't know what happened. I never heard back from Whitlock on that idea. And I'm not sour about it at all, you know, because I thought we were going independent. I didn't think we were going to do the Blaze thing. I thought we were going independent. So it is what it is. And, you know, if Whitlock ever wanted to collab on the Blaze, you know, I've been on the Blaze, on Fearless before. So if he ever wanted to, I'd be down. I don't have no problem with that. No problem at all. So I wish the best of luck to everybody involved in this event. And with that said, let's go back in the Grift bag. Let's go back in the Grift bag. There's a lot of Hunter Biden shit in here we got to go through. A lot of clips. But first, it just did that thing again. Maybe it's the ops. Maybe it's the ops that like keep shuffling my bookmarks, so I can't find what I want to find. See, like it's loading. Look, I'm gonna show y'all what it's doing. Look at this. Right? got the Debbie Washman Schultz, and then it has the Strong Dad video. This is from yesterday. The Laura Luma tweet. This is old. The Marjorie Taylor. This is all old. Why are my bookmarks shuffling? Then I have to refresh and bring everything back to their correct order. And hopefully you guys will be able to see it shuffle. But first, let's play.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Frank and Pam Bearfield Training Center. I'm Captain Keith Sescaliba. That's spelled Keithcz.
This is the Carly Russell incident.
I'd like to take this time to
They calling her the new Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett.
Say thank you first to the Hoover Police Department, our partner agencies, our wonderful community, and to all those that aided in some way in connection with this situation. As the days have gone on and more information has been shared, we know everyone has questions. The Hoover Police Department is known for being very methodical and thorough with their
assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carly Russell. In conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carly's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carly's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carly's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carly scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carly's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carly. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carly Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carly, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carly's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carly walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. Detectives, the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded, but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carly had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carly and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carly's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "You have to pay for an Amber Alert," was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th, at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carly's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carly's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carly a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carly can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carly's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carly Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse spa?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
We can't be out here snatching our own wigs. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even wear a wig, but if I did wear a wig, I wouldn't snatch it myself, right? And here's the crazy part. This story isn't over. Right? Carly has to actually answer for this, right? She is going to have to go back and make a statement. The police have now crumbled her entire story. So she's going to have to come clean. She just has to come clean. There's no other way through this. She maybe did this. People are speculating it was over a boyfriend. They were having trouble, that her ex-boyfriend cheated on her, whatever it is. Other people are stating, I cannot state this factually, so this is purely allegedly according to people in Birmingham that are sharing things, that she dropped out of nursing school or flunked out of nursing school, and that she was on drugs and she was dating some guys. All of these things are plausible, but the truth is that she is so far in it. She is so far in it that the only way out of it is to tell the truth. Okay, I'm gonna read some more of your guys' chats up here. Time for a new indictment for Trump as the redhead. Yes. You just use common sense and you say, okay, her mother says that she didn't hug her when she first.
So we got another Jussie Smollett case out here. That's why you can't Papa Hotep, behave. That's why you can't trust everything you see on the internet. We wait for verify. I'm sure a lot of people, jumped on this story and had the girls back. I seen people talking about, oh my God. When the case first hit the internets, everybody's like, oh my God, she's missing. Da da da. She's missing. She's missing. Turns out it was a Jussie Smollett case. Hussy Smollett? Oh, come on. Yeah, it's Hotep Thursday. It's Hotep Thursday. We're going to be live tonight with Cannon. It's going up. Me and Cannon going to hold it down while Unc is on vacation. Y'all been checking out Unc's kettlebell workout? Let's go back in the bag. So, Carly Russell, we nominating her for a Grifty. Go to grifties.com. Please nominate and vote for Carly. That's just a damn shame. People got nothing. A lot of this stuff comes to is, just lack of love. People getting some emails here. Who's emailing me here? Okay. All right. Let's go back in the bag. Which one do I want to cover first? All right, let's go here first, and then we'll get into the RFK Biden stuff. We got guidance from the Federal Reserve. New statement from the Federal Reserve. We spoke about this yesterday. We told you it was coming. Well, here it is. Federal Reserve announces that its new system for instant payments, the FedNow service, is now live. This is direct from federalreserve.gov. It says the Federal Reserve on Thursday announced that its new system for instant payments, the FedNow service, is now live. Banks and credit unions of all sizes can sign up and use this tool to instantly transfer money for their customers any time of day, any day of the year. The Federal Reserve built the FedNow service to help make everyday payments over the coming years faster and more convenient, said Federal Reserve Chair Jerome H. Powell. Over time, as more banks choose to use this new tool, the benefits to individuals and businesses will include enabling a person to immediately receive a paycheck or a company to instantly access funds when an invoice is paid. To start, 35 early adopting banks and credit unions, as well as the United States Department of Treasury's Bureau of Fiscal Service, are ready with instant payments capabilities via the FedNow service. In addition, 16 service providers are ready to support payment processing for banks and credit unions. When fully available, instant payments will provide substantial benefits for consumers and businesses, such as when rapid access to funds is useful, or when just-in-time payments help manage cash flows in bank accounts. For example, individuals can instantly receive their paychecks and use them the same day. The small businesses can more efficiently manage cash flows without processing delays. Over the coming years, customers of banks and credit unions that sign up for the service should be able to use their financial institution's mobile app, website, and other interfaces to send instant payments quickly and securely. As interbank payment system, the FedNow service operates alongside other longstanding Federal Reserve payment services such as FedWire and FedACH. Federal Reserve is committed to working with more than 9,000 banks and credit unions across the country to support the widespread availability of this service for their customers over time. A list of early adopters with instant payment capabilities is attached. Okay, so let's go ahead and see who's here. First Source, Aiden, Avidia, BNY Mellon, Bridge Community Bank, Bryant Bank, JP Morgan Chase, obviously. Why would they be left out? Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, the Bankers Bank. The hell of a name. FPS Gold, CSI, Alacrity. So the Federal Reserve has, really what this comes down to, it makes you begin to question, what the hell were they doing before? What the hell were they doing? Oh shit, I done got my invite. Let's go. So my question is, I'm streaming. The question is, why was the system so antiquated in the first place? making these payments, happen so slowly. Meanwhile, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle had all already solved this problem. We were sending money back and forth to each other using these apps, and now all of a sudden the Federal Reserve wants to step their system up because their system was just old and outdated. And now they're finally stepping up, looking to compete with these apps. And some people think this is the CBDC. This is not the CBDC. This is simply a new system of settling, of making settlements at, the sending and receiving banks. However, it could be potentially a railroad for the CBDC or an introduction of what's to come. So all eyes on the Federal Reserve. Make sure you guys keep your ears glued, your eyes glued, and we'll keep you up to date on all CBDC news. Don't worry. If it happens, it'll happen here first. We'll break it right here. Anyway, let's go back in the bag. See my producers dropping stuff in the private chat there. All right, let's see. It just did the thing again. It just brought me back all these old posts. Let me refresh again and get these other screens ready. So we have Debbie Wasserman Schultz, RFK. I'm going to play that one next, and then we're going to look at the Hunter Biden clips and see what's happening in Congress. These are the IRS whistleblower videos that came out yesterday. So we're going to cover that. Got a bunch of clips here, as you can see. Keep going. We haven't had this many clips to play in a really long time. This one. There may be a couple of dupes in here. But let's first start off with the RFK, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And I'm going to need your help on this to translate this vote and tell me exactly what did they vote for. Let's play the clip.
Point of order, pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, which Mr. Kennedy is violative of, I move that we move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy has repeatedly made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments as recently as last week. Rule 11, Clause 2 says, whenever it is asserted by a member of the committee that the evidence or testimony at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate any person, or it is asserted by a witness that the evidence or testimony that the witness would give at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate the witness, and it goes on. Mr. Kennedy, among many other things, has said, I know a lot now about bioweapons. We put out hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are...
Is the lady making a motion or a speech?
I've made a motion to move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy's testimony...
Mr. Chairman, I move to table the motion.
Statements...
The gentleman from Kentucky has moved to table.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote on the motion to table.
Well, let me ask the question. The question is on the motion to table. The gentlelady has asked for a roll call vote. The clerk will have to step back for a second. The clerk will have to come in. We'll call the roll on the motion to table, and then we can get back to testimony.
I think the witnesses can sit in the chairs sitting behind.
I'll leave that up to the clerks. If the clerks are comfortable with that, yeah, why don't we do that? Maybe we can go right down here.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Gentleman from Louisiana.
Is it the custom of this committee to censor viewpoints that we disagree with from witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion on the table.
There's a motion and the vote's been
called. Move into executive session.
We're waiting for the clerks.
Is violative of Rule 11, Clause 2.
Waiting for the clerks. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Mr. Jordan votes yes. Mr. Issa. Mr. Massey.
Yes, to not censor.
Mr. Massey votes yes. Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart votes yes. Ms. Stefanik.
Yes.
Ms. Stefanik votes yes. Mr. Gates. Mr. Johnson of Louisiana.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson of Louisiana votes yes. Mr. Armstrong.
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong votes yes. Mr. Stubbe. Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop votes yes. Ms. Kamak.
Yes.
Ms. Kamak votes yes. Ms. Hageman. Yes. Ms. Hageman votes yes. Ms. Pasquette.
No, I want to follow the rules that the Republicans made at the beginning of this conference with these House rules, so no.
Ms. Pasquette votes no. Mr. Lynch? No. Mr. Lynch votes no. Ms. Sanchez?
No, because it's violative of the rules.
Ms. Sanchez votes no. Ms. Wasserman Schultz?
No to allowing a witness to degrade and
This is not
defame
speech
others
time.
and violate the rules and not have his testimony and degradation and amplified
Mr. Chair.
rather than given in executive session.
Ms. Wasserman Schultz votes no. Mr. Connolly?
No to the Soviet Politburo.
Mr. Connolly votes no. Mr. Garamendi?
No.
Mr. Garamendi votes no. Mr. Allred? Ms. Garcia?
No.
Ms. Garcia votes no. Mr. Goldman?
No to hate speech.
Mr. Goldman votes no.
Jeez.
What just
Mr.
happened
Gates.
there?
Yes.
Mr. Gates? Aye. Mr. Gates votes aye.
What exactly are they voting on?
Clerk
Can
will
somebody
report.
tell me?
Mr. Chairman, there are 10 ayes and 8 noes.
The
10
motion
ayes,
to
8
table
noes.
is agreed to.
What did they just agree to? Can somebody fill me in? I'm about to go to the Google overlords. Oh wow. Just gotta look at this. Let me show you what I just got. Oh man. This is messy. This is messy. So I clicked on this link here. Let me show you. It says this is from Haaretz. Over 100 Democrats demand RFK Jr.'s Congress testimony be nixed over anti-Semitic comments. I click that and I get a 403. What the hell is going on here? Let's do RFK Debbie and see what pops up. Daily Beast. Why did I click on a Daily Beast link? I definitely don't want that. So what I'm guessing is because RFK is still here. Okay, let's see. To silence RFK. Yes, I know to silence RFK, but what did they decide? Oh, the vote was to table her motion or throw it out. So they decided to table it. They actually did decide to table it, huh? Table Schultz's motion to move to executive session. All right, so it's actually going to move forward with that motion. Okay. All right. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, you know, that's my issue with RFK, man. You gotta be careful how you talk out here, man, because you know he made that claim. His claim was that COVID-19 disproportionately affects other races and does not affect Jewish people is the claim he makes. Now, I don't know if there's any science to back that up, statistics or sources of that information. I'd love to take a look at it. If they try to target black people with COVID-19, I'd love to know about it. I'd love to know about it. Wouldn't be surprised in the least. But, you know, he's got to be careful because we need his testimony in Congress on, you know, censorship, basically, right? You know, how the United States government has been censoring him, censoring us, censoring information, but also we need some of that information that he has about COVID-19 and how shots work and the history of shots and all that. We need that in a congressional record. We need that out to the public, just so we have it all on record. So I'd hate to see him get booted from this congressional situation. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, are we really surprised that they wanted to Censor him? I mean, of course not. Why would we be surprised by that? Somebody here says, where is it? He said, a hearing about censorship, censoring people. A committee, here it is, a committee set up to investigate censorship who has 8 committee members who want to censor a witness. Isn't that something? Exactly. Insane. These Dems will stop at nothing to hide the truth. They will stop at nothing to hide the truth. Anyway, let's go back in the Grift bag. Let me fix this on the screen. We're going to hop into this Hunter Biden stuff. Check out these Hunter Biden clips. Then we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to get the phone lines open early today, hopefully. Let's take a look at this.
And everyone watching at home that parental discretion is advised. I would also like to remind everyone that on our Oversight Committee, we provide oversight into all parts of the federal government, including their Department of Justice and their willingness to prosecute and their unwillingness to prosecute, and whether it's politically motivated. I would also like to say that when evidence and proof of a crime is presented, no prosecution should be denied, no matter who the person is. To the whistleblowers today, I thank both of you for your courage to come to the committee today and your commitment to truth. I have great respect for it, so thank you. I would like to talk with you both about Hunter Biden and his tax write-offs with his law firm, OWASCO. I would like to ask Mr. Ziegler, when did you start your investigation? In your testimony, it was November 2018. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. During your testimony with the House Ways and Means Committee, you stated that through bank records, you identified Hunter Biden was paying prostitutes related to a potential prostitution ring. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, that's correct.
I've also reviewed those same bank reports, commonly referred to as SARS, Suspicious Activity Reports, and I'm very troubled by them. We read thousands of them in the Treasury. This particular excerpt from a SARS report talks about human trafficking and in regards to Hunter Biden and OWASCO and payments he was making. What's even more troubling to me is that the Department of Justice has brought no charges against Hunter Biden that will vindicate the rights of these women who are clearly victims under the law. I would like to talk about in your prior testimony, you stated that the prosecutorial team was investigating violations of the Mann Act. Is that correct?
Yo, Tana, I see you typing in the chat. Do me a favor. Text the number 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Text that number to 9. Because we're going to need you to call in a few here after we go through these Biden videos. I want you to explain your comment here. You said the changes affect electrostatic interactions that affect binding. So in whites and blacks, it apparently binds tighter. Uh-oh. Wow. All right. Tonight, we're going to need you to call in. Text that number, 202-596-5631. If you guys want to call in on the phone lines and you want to get in line, text that number, 202-596-5631. Type in Hotep and then your name. Type in Hotep and then your name and a text message to get in line for the phone calls.
Correct, Mr. Ziegler?
That is correct.
Regarding the Mann Act, if a person is transported across state lines for sexual activity, such as prostitution, that could be a violation of a federal law. Is that correct?
I actually recently looked at the federal law regarding Mann Act, and I believe that that is correct, but I would refer you to the DOJ manual.
Thank you. I would like to present this to the committee. This is showing Hunter Biden paying for a victim's United flight from LA to Dulles. This was I believe this is a violation of the Mann Act. This is Hunter Biden's, this is his proof that he bought the ticket. He bought it for this woman right here. He flew her from Los Angeles to Washington on June 14th, flew her back to Los Angeles, California on June 15th of 2018. And
Well,
I
one
would
day
like
hookup.
to point out that if he was purchasing her a plane ticket for sex and traveling across state lines, do you believe that to be a violation of the Mann Act, Mr. Ziegler?
So I can talk to specifically what's in my transcript regarding the Mann Act. So I know we were compiling the information together.
Yes, but Mr. Ziegler, as the law states, by the code of the law, it states traveling, paying someone to go across state lines is.
Yo, hit the like button so we can get on the front page of Rumble. Yo, hit the like button so we can get on the front page of Rumble. Let's do it.
Is prostitution. It's a violation of the Mann Act. Let me just move on just one more second here. So when Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C. on June 15th, this is a violation of the Mann Act. This was prostitution.
Uh-oh.
Let me continue. Did Hunter Biden also use his company OWASCO PC to pay prostitutes?
Can you hold on one second?
Uh-oh.
Chairman?
Yeah, we'll give you this additional time back.
Thank you.
That was.
Look at your notes. Look through your notes, man. What you got in there? You got any hookers in them notes? Got some receipts, some checks?
So regarding Mann Act violations, what we can do is, given by the statute, we can turn those over to the House Ways and Means Committee, and then we can they can decide to vote to turn them over to you regarding Mann Act.
Thank you, Mr. Ziegler. So talking about Hunter Biden using his company OWASCO PC to pay prostitutes, this is also a suspicious activity report showing that victim one, the woman that was paid for prostitution, that traveled from California to Washington, D.C., paid for by Hunter Biden. This is an excerpt from a SARS report that we've read in the Treasury, and I think you all have looked at these too, showing that victim one was supposedly an employee of OWASCO. But I would like to point out, this is not really what most paralegals do for law firms. And it's very serious that Hunter Biden was paying this woman through his law firm and then writing it off as business tax exemptions. Most people write off, write off things for their taxes through their businesses, like a meal or say office supplies. But can you confirm for me that Hunter Biden had written off payments to prostitutes through his law firm OWASCO?
I appreciate the question given by the statute. I'm limited in my testimony today, and I respectfully would need to turn those records over to the House Ways and Means Committee.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ziegler. One last question. You referred to one of the assistants as West Coast assistant. I believe this is the West Coast assistant. Could you agree with that?
So I can tell you that there were deductions for what we believe to be escorts, and then that $10,000 golf club membership. Yes, that was not a golf club membership. That was for a sex club payment.
That was for a sex club payment.
$10,000 to join a sex club? What kind of freaky shit going on, yo?
Such as this from Hunter Biden to prostitutes. Also, Mr. Shapley.
Come on. Mr. Chairman, we're 1 minute and 53 seconds over. As long as Ms. Ocasio-Cortez can get equal time, she can keep going.
I will let Ms. Green wrap up 5 seconds, and then I'll give Mr. Mafume additional time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shapley, you started an investigation into Hunter Biden, codenamed Sportsman, which opened in November of 2018. It was an offshoot of an investigation the IRS was conducting into a foreign-based amateur online pornography platform. This is evidence of Hunter Biden making sex tape. Excuse me, this is my time. Making pornography.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman?
The committee lady's time has expired.
Should we be displaying this? Yes, we should. Y'all need to see what the fuck your son was doing. What the president's son was doing. Hold on. Uh-oh.
Influence. We are not here today, unfortunately. And when we talk about political influence, we are not here today, unfortunately, because the facts have brought us here. We are here today because Donald Trump is exerting an influence campaign in Congress when he is no longer president of the United States. And
what? Wait a second.
Where there actually is a set of breadcrumbs, however, is in a set of tweets and letters sent from former President Trump to several chairs, to the chair of the House Judiciary Committee that we see here. In fact, according to New York Times article, which I'd like to present to the record.
Where's her comments on Hunter?
So take a look at hypothetically a case where sex trafficking charges against a 17-year-old girl potentially.
The gentlelady's time's expired.
If the gentlelady from Georgia wanted to follow evidence, we should also take a look at hypothetically a case where sex trafficking charges against a 17-year-old girl.
Oh, you're trying to say. Oh.
Believe that David Weiss, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney.
Anybody want to hear her shit? She sound crazy. All right, let's go ahead to Jim Jordan. Let's see what's going on here.
He sent me 2 letters. In the first letter on June 7th, he said, I have been granted ultimate authority over the matter, including responsibility for deciding where, when, and whether to file charges. The quote that the ranking member just put up. Later that same month, he sent me the second letter where he said, no, I don't. No, I don't have that charging authority. So June 7th, he says, I'm the boss. I can do whatever I darn well want, file it wherever I want. And then June 30th, he says, no, I can't. What happened in between those 2 events? Your testimony went public. He goes, oh, my goodness, I got to change my story because now the truth's coming out. And it sounds like in this investigation to me, Mr. Shapley, that the prosecutors and the investigators were in agreement for most of the investigation, and then we get to October of 2022. I see Mr. Ziegler nodding his head. And that meeting is where David Weiss told you something. Is that right, Mr. Shapley? What did he say? Can you put your mic on there? What did he say?
Yes, he told me he was not the deciding person on whether or not charges were filed. He told us that D.C. U.S. Attorney had declined to allow charges. He told us that he had requested special counsel authority from Maine DOJ and denied that authority.
And was denied.
That's correct.
Were you the only guy in that meeting?
I was not.
How many other people were there?
There were 7 total people, including me.
You and Mr. Weiss and 5 others, right?
That's correct.
All right, let's go to the next clip.
That while the impression has been conveyed by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware that he has similar powers to that of a special counsel in this case, free rein to do as needed, that was not the case. It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys. I still think that a special counsel is necessary for this investigation. I will also note that while the impression has been conveyed,
he's basically saying somebody protecting Hunter.
People, one of whom was Rob. Well, on the day of action, you guys were intending to interview 12 people, one of whom was Rob Walker, a business associate of Hunter Biden. And in particular, you wanted to talk about, I think the quote is, 10 held by H for the big guy.
Yep.
Right? So who did you infer that the big guy may be?
So all I can do is speak to the evidence there. What I can say is, I think I know what you're referring to is when we're preparing for that interview and we're referencing that email, 10 held by H for the big guy. And from what I understand that to be his dad, President Biden.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I just want to ask Mr. Shapley a similar question because the AUSA Wolf interjected, and I'm reading from your transcript now, and said she did not want to ask about the big guy and stated she did not want to ask questions about dad, quote, in quotes. Who did you take dad to be when she refers to dad?
The father of the subject is President Biden.
President Biden. And so even by her response, she's inferring that Joe Biden may be involved in Hunter Biden's transactions.
You want to discuss with you specific payments made to Hunter Biden and the Biden family.
So, looks like IRS whistleblowers have confirmed that the big guy is Joe Biden.
Democrats and the left-wing media are also saying there's no evidence. Well, let's get into the evidence, Mr. Ziegler. I want to direct you to pages 99 and 100 of your transcript. How much money did Hunter Biden and his associates receive from the Romanian company you identified?
So that amount would be from Romania. So the approximate total transfers from the Romania company would have been $3.1 million to everyone.
$3.1 million. How much did Hunter Biden and his business associates receive from State Energy HK Limited through the Robinson Walker LLC?
So total transfers from State Energy HK to Rob Walker was $3 million.
$3 million. Was there a $100,000 payment from CEFC Infrastructure to OWASCO PC, Hunter Biden's professional corporation?
China. Yes, Chairman.
Approximately how much was transferred to Hunter Biden and his business associates through Hudson West 3?
So the total transfers from Hudson West 3 to everyone was $3.7 million.
$3.7 million. How much money did Hunter Biden and his business associates receive from the Ukrainian company Burisma?
Burisma paid to everyone involved $6.5 million.
$6.5 million. Burisma also paid Blue Star Strategies and a law firm hundreds of thousands of dollars, bringing the total Burisma payments to over $7 million. Is that correct?
That is correct, $7.3 million.
$7.3 million. Between 2014 and 2019, this brings the total amount of foreign income streams received to approximately $17 million, correct?
That is correct.
What was the purpose of analyzing money from foreign sources, and do you have documents to support your findings?
So for the purpose of documenting the foreign sources is as a part of a normal international tax investigation, we have to figure out where the money's coming from. You have to follow the money trail. And as a part of that process, we have to follow different transactions, identify different foreign entities that might be paying a person, and then we go and get those records.
Right. And hopefully you can provide that to the committee.
So yeah, any records regarding those transactions, we can.
We love evidence on this side of the aisle.
Money trails.
Thanks so much for inviting me. My name is Emma Jo Morris, politics editor at Breitbart. I'm here today because I published a series of news stories 3 years ago in October of 2020 about Hunter Biden's now infamous laptop, also known as the laptop from hell, which is seen as some of the most scandalous reporting of the last decade. What was more scandalous than the reporting itself, though, was the fact that it exposed the unholy alliance between the intelligence community, social media platforms, and legacy media outlets. At the time, I was deputy politics editor at the New York Post, and my reporting showed that despite then candidates Joe Biden's repeated and furious denials, he was apparently involved in the foreign business deals of his family. Over several days, just weeks before Americans would vote for their next president, I revealed verified, authentic emails from the Biden Scions hard drive showing Ukrainian business partners receiving leaks from the Obama White House. I documented an off-the-books meeting between then Vice President Biden and a Ukrainian energy executive and introduced the world to the big guy who got action on a deal with CEFC, China Energy Company. The Post published exactly how the material for the reporting was obtained, even identifying our sources, as well as a federal subpoena showing the FBI was in possession of the material the story was based on and had been since December of 2019. But when the stories appeared on social media that morning, the venue where millions of Americans go to find their news and editors to get their angles, within hours, the reporting was censored on all major platforms on the basis of being called hacked, or Russian disinformation.
Meanwhile, FBI had it.
Twitter refused to allow users to share the link to the stories, banned the links from being shared in private messages, a policy, by the way, that's used to clamp down on child porn, and locked the post out of its verified account. Facebook said it would curb distribution and reach of the links on its platform. However, the stories were not based on hacked materials, nor were they Russian disinformation. And despite those claims appearing to come out of thin air at the time, we would eventually learn that they actually didn't come out of thin air at all. On October 19th, 5 days after the Post began publishing, Politico ran a story headlined, "Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo, dozens of former intel officials say." God, I can't even say that with a straight face, you know? Politico.
She laughing right in the hearing like this shit is too funny.
This is a sick Negro.
Oh, man.
Printed a letter completely uncritically from veteran members of the U.S. intelligence community, falsely claiming that the Post expose has, quote, all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. My God. Most notable among the signatories of that letter were Jim Clapper, from former DNI, Michael Hayden, former CIA, John Brennan, former CIA. Despite having such damaged credibility following their participation in the Russia collusion conspiracy theory. A few days later, on October 22nd, when Biden appeared in the second presidential debate and was confronted with the facts of the Post's reporting, he said to Trump, quote, 50 former national intelligence professionals said this, what he's accusing me of is a Russian plot. But it was not, and he knew that. Now, fast forward to this year, 3 years later. Just last spring, House investigators revealed it was a call by now Secretary of State Antony Blinken to former acting CIA Director Michael Morell that prompted the spy letter published by Politico, which bypassed agency approval processes that would have been normally applied. It is also now known that ahead of my reporting, federal agencies were priming social media companies to execute an operation to discredit it. According to internal documents released by Elon Musk upon his acquisition of Twitter, the FBI and other intelligence community members essentially directed the platform's censorship operation, in part externally by working with top management, and in part internally by social media companies hiring eye-popping numbers of agency alumni. Journalist Michael Schallenberger reported, based on documents he obtained from Musk, that during all of 2020, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies repeatedly primed Twitter executives to dismiss reports of Hunter Biden's laptop as a Russian hack and leak operation.
That's all the stuff from the Twitter files.
Feds arranged for top secret security clearances to be granted to Twitter management, and even had encrypted messaging networks set up, which they dubbed a virtual war room. To this day, hundreds of people from the intelligence community work at social media companies. Over the last few years, my reporting has been confirmed by virtually every mainstream news outlet, from the Washington Post to the New York Times to Politico, when the stakes were nothing, by the way, 2 years later.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The stakes was nothing by now. That's a good point. Elections is over.
No one denies that the laptop is real, that the origin story is exactly what I told you it was in the first place. This elaborate censorship conspiracy wasn't because the information being reported on was false. It was because it was true, and it was a threat to the power centers in this country. What this relationship between the U.S. government officials and American corporations represent is an unprecedented push to undermine the First Amendment, the right to think, write, read, say whatever we want. And how we respond will determine whether we see a free press as inalienable or as optional. Thanks.
Describe a lunch, what we talked about earlier, where Joe Biden came to say hello at the Four Seasons Hotel to a lunch that he was having with CEFC executives, right?
That's correct.
But what you didn't talk about is what Rob Walker said the origination of that lunch was. And you testified that he said that Hunter told his dad, according to Rob Walker, quote, I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys. Now, let me ask you something. That doesn't sound much like Joe Biden was involved in whatever Hunter Biden was doing with the CEFC if Hunter Biden is telling him that he's trying to do business with them, does it?
No, but it does show that he told his father he was trying to do business, and he was
Okay,
talking
well,
to his
that is
father
true. Hunter Biden
about the
does
business.
try to do business. That's correct. Describe.
Fumble. Ran into that one on your own. It shows they did discuss it with the big guy. Oh, that's the Emma one. All right, so that's all those clips. Tanai just sent me, he's in the lab, he can't talk right now, so he sent me some information here on the RFK thing. Let's go back to the RFK. Let's play the clip and where he said these comments. Let's take a look.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. The level, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure, genetic differentials among different races of the receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not. But there are papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all those labs in the Ukraine are about. They're collecting Russian DNA, they're collecting Chinese DNA, so that we can target people.
So bioweapons that target people based upon their race.
And we need to talk about...
Which is what Debbie Wasserman Schultz is talking about. So here from the National Library of Medicine, published on PubMed, it says new insights into genetic susceptibility of COVID-19, polymorphism. We'll put this on the screen for you here, and you'll see it in just a moment. And what this says here is this comprehensive comparative genetic analysis of approximately 81,000 human genomes suggested possible associations of ACE2 with COVID-19 susceptibility, severity, and clinical outcomes. We found that ACE2 polymorphism were more likely to be associated with cardiovascular and pulmonary conditions by altering the angiotensinogen ACE2 interactions in African American population. Unique but prevalent polymorphisms, blah, 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 may provide potential explanations for differential genetic susceptibility in COVID-19, as well as for risk factors, including cancer and a high-risk group of males. We highlighted that polymorphisms could guide personalized treatments, et cetera, et cetera. In summary, this study suggested that ACE2 were likely associated with genetic susceptibility. We found that the distribution of deleterious variants in ACE2 differs amongst 9 populations in genome AD. Deleterious variants occur in African Americans and non-Finnish European populations. Wow, so the Nordic whites are actually safe. Or safer, according to this study. Safer, according to this study. Prevalence of deleterious variants among Latino and admixed American populations, while Amish and Ashkenazi Jewish populations do not appear to carry such variants in ACE2 coding regions. specifically several variants, and they mentioned the variants here have been reported to slightly inhibit the interaction between ACE2 and the spike protein of SARS-CoV-1, which caused the first global SARS-CoV outbreak. So there's some medical studies apparently. I'm no doctor, so I couldn't tell you the validity of these statements or how serious we got to take this stuff. But where there's smoke, it might be some fire. So shout out to my non-Finnish Europeans, Hey man, we're gonna pray for y'all, man. Y'all new niggas with us.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Y'all niggas right along with us. Non-Finnish white people are the new niggas.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Non-Finnish white people. I guess that's the white people from Finland and, the good Nordic whites. So, if you got that on the desk of somebody like a Tariq Nasheed, he wouldn't look at this thing as, this seems like it's attacking, I guess a non-Finnish would be your, would that include the UK? I guess that would include the UK, your Italians, your Spanish, your Portuguese, or your spicy whites. So it looks like it's attacking, the spicy whites, but the Chinese and the non-Finnish whites and the Ashkenazi are not experienced the same. Now, I ain't no genius, but it seems like what all these people have in common is the lack of eumelanin abundance amongst the rest of the groups. But I'm going to need Tanai. We'll talk about this. Tanai's going to be at HotepCon. I'm going to ask him about this shit. We're going to talk about it at HotepCon.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Go get your tickets, HotepNation.com for your HotepCon tickets. We're 28 days away from that event, so hope to see you there. And with that said, we're going to the phone lines, 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. And I'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock? I have no clue. Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in.
How'd you get that done so quick? They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
We back. All right, so we got the line going. Hotep Goldstein, go ahead, hit the line. We're going to get Hotep Goldstein in. If you want to get in line for the phone calls, 202-596-5631, 202-596-31. I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me, where do Americans go from here? Where do we go from here? Where we got a sitting president, it's got potential collusion or alleged collusion with evidence, and his son colluding with foreign governments, using taxpayer money to purchase hookers. Where do we go from here? That's what I'd like to know.
Call from Murphy's Law Rescue.
Hey,
Yo.
Goldstein.
Yeah.
What up, man? Talk to me, bro.
So they targeting niggas with that shit, huh? That's what it is. This would explain why I caught that shit twice, because I'm 100% nigga.
Well, also non-Finnish whites.
Non-Finnish whites, so British, Spanish, French.
Yep.
I thought they all had the same DNA, though. That's weird.
No.
They like fucking border away from each other. How the fuck their DNA vastly that different?
Because you got the Anglo-Saxons and you got the Germanic tribes.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Right?
This is true.
You got the Anglo-Saxons and the Germanic tribes. So they had two different European tribes. This is where white people come from, allegedly, right? The Anglo-Saxons and the Germanic tribes. These are two different tribes. And at one point, even the Anglo-Saxon, it was Anglos and it was Saxons, and it ended up, I think what happened was they found peace, and they became Anglo and Saxon, but it was two different tribes. So it was Anglos, it was the Saxons, and it was actually then the Germanic tribes. So it's actually three different groups, but the Anglos and the Saxons combined.
Yeah, this is true. You know, I gotta say, pretty interesting motherfucking shit right there. I got to say, because wow, how in the fuck did the Sephards miss that shit? The Sephardics.
You said, how did they miss that?
Yeah, how they miss out on the memo? Like, yo, we ain't catching this shit. The Ashkenazis got the memo. It looks like the Sephardic Jews didn't, huh?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's why I say, like, you can't just push everybody into the same group. It's a lot of diversity on this planet, you know?
Absolutely not. It really does highlight, though, how Ashkenazi are special.
Mm-hmm.
Really does highlight that, though.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it just RFK spitting that shit at a dinner the way he did, dropping that little nugget the way he did on everybody. You know, I have my doubts about how all that shit goes down, as you know, because I don't know, just too much weird shit surrounding him. And then when he puts this type of information out there, it allows for the Wasserman Schultz of the world to yet again, hey, look at this boogeyman, guys. It's coming to get us all.
Yes.
There's been far too much of that for me to believe that it's on the up and up.
What is on the up and up? RFK?
Yeah, him and that whole shtick he's got going on as far as being the guy who's revealing all of this insider truth all of a sudden.
So it sounds like you're putting them in the same group of control opposition, because yesterday you put Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate in a bucket of control opposition. So RFK is going in that same bucket.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me, yes, because I don't know, man. You just come out of nowhere, running for president out of nowhere with a high-profile name like Kennedy, and now you dropping all these quote-unquote gems on everybody, which seem to work against any actual productivity when it comes to truth.
Mm-hmm.
Weird to me. You know, kind of like Tucker Carlson, you know, kind of like fucking Nick Fuentes. It's just weird to me because there's a time and a place and also a way which you reveal that shit. We all know that to be the truth.
You said
You know
what?
what I mean? There's a time, a place, and a way that you deliver that type of information.
Yes.
And when you're as careless with the truth as a lot of these fools seem to want to be, you're either inept or you know exactly what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
So it's like either way it goes, I can't fuck with you. I'm not voting for you. And I damn sure ain't going to ride no goddamn wave with you on it. So it's just one of them things, bro. It's just one of them things. But that's as far as that goes.
So what about
Now,
the Hunter? Wait, what? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Now, saying as far as the Hunter Biden situation goes, where do we go from here as a people, as a country? What do we do? Is there anything we can do, or is there anything we should do?
I think it's corrupt as shit. I think it's overblown, though. I think it's like, you know, ain't too many motherfuckers who've been in positions of authority ain't had some seedy motherfuckers in their past. They didn't go this hard on the Bush twins, though. You know what I mean? And them bitches were smoking just as much crack, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
But it all just, but to sit here and break it down along political lines, that's where I think we're fucking up, because there ain't no difference between a Bush and a motherfucking Biden to me.
Yeah.
They're on the same team. So it's like maybe we should pull the goddamn microscope back a bit and look at the picture in a broader sense. Maybe that's the problem. We sitting here dividing this shit into Democrat or Republicans on some aha, I got you shit. You know, I don't think that's the way. I don't think that's the method we should be using when we look at this.
Okay, what's the method?
I think that we should be looking at all these so-called elites on both sides of the aisle and trying to figure out exactly what the fuck is going on a them versus us type tip, not them versus each other.
Yes.
You know, you got both of them up there pulling this political theater knowing goddamn well it's not going to amount to a hill of beans. Why?
Right.
Why are you wasting our time? Why are you wasting our resources investigating this nigga getting his dick sucked by some hookers? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's all theater. So it's just one of them things like, and now, having said that, if you see this theater going on, whether you're on one side of the aisle or the other, and you still think that you can get in that voting booth and upend this shit, as entrenched as it is, you are the exact fool they've been looking for. You can't vote this out. You cannot go and vote this out. We have seen to what length these motherfuckers will go to continue to hold their power base. We have seen, and that power base is not going to be voted out at this point. They will claw tooth and nail and take you completely out of the fucking situation if they feel like that shit is threatened. This is why, again, I can't trust motherfuckers like RFK. I can't trust motherfuckers like Tucker Carlson. Because if they were actually hitting on shit that was going to upend this power base, they'd be somewhere chilling with Gary Webb on the shelf. So, you know, it's one of them things, bro. Where do we go from here as a country? Hopefully in the right fucking direction. The next motherfucker who comes out talking about Tucker Carlson did this, or not Tucker Carlson, Hunter Biden did this, or whatever the fucking case may be with that Biden family, ignore that shit. Tell them to kick rocks. There's far more pressing things to focus on. Some of those things. Go ahead.
Then the Hunter case?
Yeah.
So then it's a distraction.
Yeah, it's all distraction, bro.
From what? What should we be paying attention to?
Like I said, we need to pull the microscope back and pay attention to the elites as a whole.
The whole group.
Right.
Yeah.
Sitting here fractionalizing them is exactly what they want us to do. This is why it's such a fucking carnival. This is why it's such a sideshow. People love a sideshow. They love train wrecks. You know what I mean? You got this bitch up here throwing full-ass nudes out there, public TV, right there on the House of Congress. Look what he doing type shit. That's train wreck. That's Ricky Lake, Maury Povich type shit right there. And he got a whole generation of motherfuckers who were raised on that shit incessantly, Jerry Springer and all that shit, so they love this type of sensationalism. It feeds right into it. But it's not serious. Nothing about this shit is serious. And if I'm not mistaken, we're living in some very serious and perilous times. So the last thing I need from a fucking congresswoman or a congressman is you sitting up there on some fucking you are not the father ass mentality shit. I don't need that. You know what I mean? I don't need you playing the music and running backstage and acting an ass right now. I need you serious. I need you weeding some shit out. I need you to be working for me, not for your fucking party, not for your fucking aha moments, not for your book deals, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Because things are very, very tense right now. They're tight. There's no room for fucking wiggling around and acting an ass. So that's all I can.
Yo, you ever had a copy of Behold the Pale Horse?
Oh yeah, I've read that numerous times.
Remember the diagram in the back? It shows you like the structure of the Illuminati or the alleged Illuminati.
Yes.
What did he call that again? Do you remember? I'm trying to find it here. I might have to scan it and put a copy on HotepNation.com or something like that.
I think you should. But I also think you need to put the caveat to just, test all things, bro. Because even behold the pale horse be on some I don't know shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Test all things, man. Take what you can from that. Because listen, I don't mean to get all spiritual and shit, but a lot of times, when people see the truth, it resonates with them on a deeper fucking level. But they'll either accept it or rationalize it away with some shit they think they know.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'll speak to you. It'll fucking really jar you sometimes, especially if you're way off in the weeds. You know what I mean? It has the potential to either drive you further in that shit or pull you out. But either way, if it's such a visceral reaction to move you in either direction, that's the time you need to sit down, silence your goddamn head a little bit, and really think and analyze and search it out. Those are those moments.
That's true.
You got so many moments like that in society right now where it's either pushing people further into what they think they know or pulling people smooth the fuck out of it. It's a one or the other type of deal. But this is the time we need to be the most quiet. This is the time we need to be the most quiet and the most analytical we've ever been in our life. Because it's serious, man. The motherfuckers they're missing that point. This is serious shit.
Yeah.
We're talking the fate of humanity right now.
Yeah.
So.
I need your help.
What's up?
What's the name of the groups that make up the Illuminati again, man? I'm drawing a fucking blank right now. I typed in Committee 300. That's one of them. What's the other one, man? Bilderberg Group.
Bilderberg.
Well, let me see if I could try Bilderberg and see if it pops up with that. Alex Jones would know. I should call Alex Jones right now. I should just pick up my phone and call him, see if he pick up.
Got them Rothschilds up in there.
Yeah, but their syndicate has a name.
You got the
Trilateral Commission. Thank you. That's the other one. Thank you.
Council on Foreign
Relations, CFR. Hold on. Wait, what was the one you said before CFR? Trilateral Commission.
I believe Tulsi Gabbard's a part of that one.
What? The Trilateral?
Yeah, either that one or the CFR.
Well, she's definitely in CFR.
Yeah.
Tulsi definitely CFR. She's definitely a CFR agent.
Jonah Ryan, jump in the chat if you can and get let loose, man, because I know he on it.
You know he know.
Drawing a blank right now too.
But we hit on the major ones, but it was still. I wish I had that grid. I got the book. I don't want to break the commercial break, run upstairs and grab a book, but that's the itch I'm getting. But anyway, yeah, Trilateral Commission. I'm looking at that right now. It's not showing that. That grid online here. I might have to go get me the hard copy, man. Anyway, so look, I got on the screen right now. Peep this, right? All right, because we was just talking about this, and I think I fucked it all up. All right, it says right here, what's the difference between Angles and Saxons? So it says the main difference between Angles and Saxons is that Angles are Germanic people, originally inhabitants of Schleswig-Holstein, who settled in Mercia or Northumbria and East Anglia, while Saxons are a Germanic tribe in central and northern Germany that conquered and settled in southern England. Okay, so they're both Germanic tribes. That's where I fucked up. They're both Germanic tribes. They were split and they became one. Angles and Saxons are two major Germanic tribes that settled in Great Britain. Right. So that's the, okay, so the Angles and the Saxons are the Brits.
Yeah.
And that's in the post-Roman period. However, most historical accounts do not distinguish between Angles and Saxons, as both were Germanic tribes speaking similar dialects. Furthermore, with the passage of time, Angles and Saxons, along with Jutes and Frisians, became a single nation. Okay, so we got to look at the Jutes and Frisians next. See, this white people shit, man. This white people shit. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta know this shit. Because the Jew. All right, so here we go. The Jutes were a smaller group who came from Jutland, now a part of Denmark, and the Frisians were Germanic people who lived in the North Sea. So who is the Italians? I know that's Rome, but where'd they come from?
Current day?
Yeah, current day.
It came from niggas.
Here we go. So let's see what Wiki's saying. I know this is all bullshit, but we're gonna look at it anyway. So you saying the Italians is niggas?
Nah, they just heavily influenced genetically by us. That's all. You know, they had their base. We just went up there and kicked that shit down a little bit.
This might be one of them times I call Shakka. I know I could just call Shakka and that nigga pick up. He'll tell me all these motherfucking answers. That's what we might do today. We're gonna call Shakka today.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, you know, I covered the Hunter Biden shit, and I don't really got much to say. I ain't got much to say, you know, mostly because the motherfuckers that should have the most to say don't have nothing to say, right? And the people that have that should have the most to say happen to be the motherfuckers that voted for that motherfucker. The people that told us I was crazy for supporting somebody else. People told me I was crazy for rocking a 47 hat. But here we go, and Marjorie Taylor Greene got his dick all out in Congress. So that's why I don't have much to say. I just put it on the screen to make sure it's documented. You know what I'm saying? I need this shit documented. So when motherfuckers, you know, that voted for Biden argue with me, I'm not gonna pull up nothing but my own motherfucking show. Like, yo, we already covered this, bro.
And look, I don't care what. No one's moving me off the square of the fact that I think all of this shit was contrived anyway. I think the reason that they landed fucking Biden in office wasn't because they wanted to maintain democratic control of the fucking government here. Wasn't because they were trying to usher in some fucking communist utopia. The main reason why they put that nigga in office with those fake ass elections was because they needed the most inept, crime-riddled motherfucker they could in order to upend this current fucking mindset in this country to such a degree that it would be easy for the next version of this government to ease right in there. That's how they put the most corrupt, inept, ridiculously motherfucking prepared motherfucker in office. So that way, everything he represents, everybody that represents him can be dealt a severe blow in the American voter's psyche. And the next team that comes into this motherfucker, all the people, the most of the people in the public will rock with whatever they say because they'll be in there fighting the good fight against all this quote-unquote corruption that has existed since the foundation of this fucking country, but all of a sudden is being revealed by all these different sources. It's like a great awakening is happening in this country. They've even gone as far as to say that damn phrase, great awakening. Man, get the fuck out of here. What you're doing is you're serving it up on a platter for motherfuckers to accept what comes next. And it's the what comes next part that everybody needs to be fearful of.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Man.
You ain't lying.
All right, bro. I'm going to let you get back to the show, though. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Yo, Ohio Tech, give me a second. I'm about to call Shakka. See this nigga pick up. I'm going to send him a preemptive text. He should be up by now. He should be up by now. Let's see.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Hotep Jesus, I'm live.
What is it?
Yo, yo.
The hell you want?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
I know you do.
We talking about, huh? Listen, they was talking about, RFK said that COVID-19 was disproportionately affecting African Americans and non-Finnish white people, right? So now, I know non-Finnish white people includes the Anglos and the Saxons of the Germanic tribes that settled in the UK, right? Where these Finnish white people come from, and where did the Italians and the Spanish and the Portuguese come from? Because I feel like they're in that group that got affected disproportionately by COVID-19 too. Where is their origins and shit come from? Because why is it affecting some white people one way and another white people another way?
I mean, there's a few ways you can answer that question, but to make it real simple. So, the people that they're describing as Finnish would most ardently be referred to as Nordic.
Nordic, right. That's the Nordics, right.
Right. And those who basically separated from that group, we would call Germanic. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, both of these groups comprise your white people. These are straight up white people. Your Nords and your Germanic.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wait. Hold on. The connection is bad. Let me call you from my other line. I'm gonna call you right now from my other line.
Yeah.
Hold on. Y'all can't hear him good. I need to be able to hear this nigga good. Hold on.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Hotep Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, that's much better.
All right, cool.
So you said,
all right, so yeah. So like I was saying, Finnish people you would find in places like Sweden and Norway. That's where you get the whole Nordic, Norwegian, the North.
Okay.
Right. North.
North, right.
So
yeah, North,
right.
yeah.
Right there, it's all in there, North, right? So again, you would I mean that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is no matter how you slice it, there's a direct relationship between Germans and Nordic people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another way of saying it would be that there are different subsets of Nordic people, some underneath one umbrella, right? It all depends on how you classify it. If you classify it linguistically, it's going to be classified one way. If you classify it ethnically, it's going to be classified another way, right? If you classify it biologically, it's going to be classified another way. So that's not a 4-minute conversation.
Correct.
That's like some shit you got to have a graph with. But at the end of the day, the two distinctions that I make between white people, right? What I call the white, or what I call the truly white, and the kind of white, right?
Okay.
So the Nordics and the Germans are true whites.
Okay.
Okay. All the other people that you named in areas of Southern Europe, like Spaniards, Italians, those kind of people, they're kind of whites. All right. They're kind of whites because, well, for a lot of reasons, they're very mixed. You got to remember, it's a Mediterranean world that they participated in.
Right.
And the Mediterranean is really just another euphemism for color, you know? So no matter where you touch on the Mediterranean people, you got dark people. Because the first hegemony in the Mediterranean was African, it was black. So, you know, so no matter where you touch around the Mediterranean, you're gonna find color. That's just the way it is, right? Even in the Aegean, right? So you can't call Greeks true whites. You can't even call Italians true whites. All of those people have could trace their lineage back to black people in the not too distant past. You know? Like that's not even an hour's worth of research. That's like literally like 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. You can get all the answers you want for that.
Yeah.
But so now there's another way to break that conversation down, which is the way that I teach it. So when I have students who want to learn about the origins of white people, I tell them that there are two cultures that you have to know. And these two you might want to write down.
Okay.
Right? So the first culture is Yamnaya, right? The Yamnaya culture, Yamnaya, Yamnaya. Right? I'm pretty sure it's about like that. The Yamnaya culture, and then you have the corded ware culture, CORDED, corded ware, WARE, the corded ware culture. So you have the Yamnaya culture and the corded ware culture.
Okay.
If you want to research the origins of white people, that is the only place you can start to come up with real serious answers. If you start any other point, everything else that you learn or that you think you know is only going to confuse you as you go forward. So what I just did was I just positioned you in literally the perfect spot to like start your research. I would tell anybody, if you want to know something about the origin of white people, type those two things in on Wikipedia and just read the whole entire page. Right? Just read the whole entire page on Yamnaya culture and read the whole entire page on corded ware culture. And then your conversation can make sense if you're talking to somebody about it. In fact, most white people don't know that. Most white people are still caught up in the illusion of the Caucasian fantasy. Like, there's no such people as Caucasian. That's not even an official anthropological term. You know, if you put the word Caucasian on a test, you're gonna get a big F on your paper.
When you're dealing with anthropology.
Yeah, but science. Period. It's considered to be a non-science. It's considered to be an obsolete, unscientific term because it comes from a
more political.
No, it's not even political. But I mean, it is kind of political, but it comes from what makes it fake is the origin of the idea. The origin of the idea comes out of 19th century Germany when they were putting together anthropology and all that other shit.
Okay.
So you have to remember when they were putting all that shit together, they really didn't know a lot of shit. So they was making a lot of shit up.
Right.
And the whole, so I'll give you an example. If you like literally right now, if you type in the word Caucasian on Wikipedia, like just type it in to see what comes up.
All right, let's see.
Let me show you. Go to Wikipedia. Type in Caucasian race. Do you see Caucasian race on Wikipedia?
Yeah. I just saw the word obsolete.
There you go.
The article is about an outdated concept.
There you go. It don't exist.
This article is about the outdated race concept. And then on Google, it says, actually the homepage next to Caucasian race, it says obsolete racial classification of humans.
Exactly. It doesn't exist. So when people try to pull that Caucasian shit, the first thing I tell them is, you in the fantasy world. Nigga, you ain't Caucasian. You don't want to be Caucasian. You ain't Caucasian, motherfucker. That's some shit somebody made up. Niggas be late. You know what I mean? White niggas be late. Black niggas be late. Niggas just be late. Yeah, so, yeah, the one you want to type in is and then when you really want to get deep, it's kind of like what I call the unholy trinity of white people.
Okay.
To really master that whole subject, there's 3 terms you got to know. Yamnaya culture, corded wear culture, and then the term Indo-European. When you could tie all of those 3 together, you a bad motherfucker. Ain't nobody be able to tell you shit. You white people will be naked before you. Real talk.
What you mean?
Yeah, real
what do you
talk.
mean white people be naked before me?
They'll be naked before you. They won't be able to hide behind stupid shit like Caucasian or whatever the fuck other fake terms they want to call themselves.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. They be naked. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me put it to you like this. Like, so in Congress the other day, on the floor of the Senate or whatever, some congressman or some senator or some representative, he used the term colored. Did you hear about it?
It was a woman. No, it was a gentleman, and it was a black woman that wanted to strike it from the record.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, my issue is this, right?
It's funny because I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah, right. But you don't have the decency to invite me on your show to ask me about it, motherfucker.
Chat, you hear him? Y'all hear him? He acting like chat. Now, if you ask my chat, how many times on this channel have I mentioned Shakka's name? I need y'all to put numbers in the chat on how many times I've mentioned Shakka's name. Your estimate on a weekly basis or total you've heard his name.
Oh, hold on. Hey, yo, we live right now?
Nigga, we live on YouTube right now. On YouTube.
Why the
and
fuck
Rumble.
you ain't tell me that, bro?
I did say that. I said, yo, we live. Hotep Jesus, we live.
Okay. I hate people do that to me, man. Stop that to be doing that shit too. All right, so anyway. All right, so
he said, how come you don't have me on my show? As he's on the show.
Okay. So now I told I want to sit there and look pretty, motherfucker. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so yeah, so let me just give it to you like this. There's really, if you really want to be a bad motherfucker, like on mastering the origins of white people.
Yeah.
And I tell most white people the same thing. You should do the research so you know who the fuck you are. Yeah. Right. So the 4 main terms that you want to know are Yamnaya culture. Corded wear culture.
Yeah.
The corded wear culture is probably going to give you like the dark-haired color people, brown eyes, dark hair.
Okay.
Right? Or the first white Europeans.
Okay.
And then the other one you want to have is the Yamnaya would probably correspond with the Eurasian, right? So if you look at these terms, they're like hybrid terms: Eurasian, Indo-European, right?
Yeah.
So what it's telling you is that in the very early stages of this process, there's some admixture, right?
Okay.
There's some admixture, and also it's also showing you geographical origins.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, Europe and Asia.
Geographical origins.
Yeah.
Right? So Eurasia, Eurasia and Indo-Europe. And Indo-Europe would correspond to a lot of the to a lot of places in what we would call today the Middle East, because certain people who consider themselves European also have their origins in that area as well, right? And it's kind of a complex subject matter, because truthfully speaking, when you really listen to the PhDs on this subject matter, the people who are the best of the best on this subject matter, a lot of it is not definitive for them. But part of the reason why a lot of it is not definitive for them is, truthfully speaking, this is from my own personal opinion. I would say my professional opinion as well. And that is that a lot of it has to do with shame. right? So when people are ashamed of something, they bury it under a shitload of content so that you never get to the center of the Tootsie Roll. You understand what I'm saying? Because what if you find at the center of the Tootsie Roll a story that overturns all of your mythology about yourself? You understand what I'm saying? So in that sense, but I can tell you this much: like if you right now, type in Yamnaya culture and see what comes up.
Well, the funny thing is, it's mentioned in the same article as the corded whale culture. So I'm just going to click on it.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, absolutely.
The Yamnaya culture, or the Yamna culture, also known as the pit grave culture or oak grave culture, was a late Copper Age to early Bronze Age archaeological culture of the region between southern Bug, dating between 3300 and 2600 BCE. It was discovered by Vasily Gorodstov following his archaeological excavations near the Donets River in 1901 and 1903. Its name derives from the characteristic burial site. Yamnaya is a Russian adjective that means related to pits. That's where pit grave culture comes from, as these people used to bury their dead in tumuli, kurgans, containing simple pit chambers.
Right. Continue, because it gets better.
Okay. The Yamnaya economy was based upon animal husbandry, fishing, and foraging, and the manufacture of ceramics, tools, and weapons. The people of the Yamnaya culture lived primarily as nomads with a chiefdom system and wheeled carts and wagons that allowed them to manage large herds. They are also closely connected to the final Neolithic cultures, which later spread through Europe, Central Asia, especially the corded ware people and the bell beaker culture, as well as the peoples of the Sintashta, Andronovo, and Srubnaya cultures. Back migration from corded ware also contributed to the Sintashta and the Andronova. In these groups, several aspects of the Yamnaya culture are present. Yamnaya material culture was very similar to the Afna Savo culture of the South Siberia, and the population.
So it's all Eurasian.
You said what?
It's all Eurasian. Continue.
Okay, that's true, right? And the populations of both cultures are genetically indistinguishable. Wow, this suggests that the Afna Savo culture may have originated from the migration of the Yamnaya groups in the Altai region, or alternatively, that both cultures developed from an earlier shared cultural source.
So then it gets interesting.
Okay.
Continue.
Genetic studies have suggested that the people of the Yamnaya culture can be modeled as genetic admixture between a population related to...
Remember I told you in the beginning, the early part of the conversation, there really are, white folks are a result of various admixtures.
Okay.
Right? So it's almost like mixing until all the color is mixed out. Right? You have to look at it like that. Imagine you have something where the more you blend it, the less color it has. Or it's almost like a bleaching effect.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right, so go ahead.
Between a population related to Eastern European hunter-gatherers and people related to the hunter-gatherers of the Caucasus.
Right.
So I guess that's where people have tried to claim the Caucasian thing. Okay.
Right.
In roughly equal proportions, an ancestral component, which is often named the steppe ancestry.
Right. So now you're really talking about steps.
Yeah.
You're talking about almost like a combination between the Eurasian and the Nordic. Right. That's where that separation would take place.
Okay. With additional admixture from Anatolia.
Right. So now you talk about Anatolia. So when you talk about Anatolia, you're talking about the very first place on planet Earth that was called Asia. All right. So Asia was the first name for Anatolia. That's why that region today is called Asia Minor. And the rest of that continent now, or that name has been now imposed on the rest of that continent. Okay. And then you also talking about the Levantine.
Yes.
Right? And early European farmers. Now when you're talking about Anatolia, Levantine, when you talking about the Anatolia, Levantine, these are not places that were initially indigenous to white people. These are people of color, dark people, initially. right?
Okay.
So now there's a lot of this stuff they're leaving out of this deals with back migrations after various ice ages.
Okay.
Right? So they're not going to really go too much into that. For that, you want to look at Michael Bradley's The Iceman Inheritance.
Yes.
He goes deep into that, right? Yeah, that's a classic, right? Because he deals with the Worm 1 and Worm 2, the interstitial periods and all of that, and the impact that had on genetics and race. And that's important. You can't leave that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that they're not going to be talking about in this stuff is they're not going to be talking about the cave superstructures that exist in places like Afghanistan, all of the Stan countries, right? They have cave networks. They have cave networks there that you and me couldn't even begin to fathom with our minds. Like we couldn't begin to understand it. And it's in these cave environments that white people really emerged because they had to protect themselves from that ice.
Yeah.
They didn't want to talk. They tried to bury Shek Antidote's ice people, sun people paradigm, but that's really what it comes down to. They wanted that. It comes down to that. So continue with genetic studies.
Genetic studies also indicate that populations associated with the corded ware, Belbega, Sintashta, and Dronovo cultures derived a large parts of their ancestry from the Yamnaya, or a closely related population. There is now a rough scholarly consensus that the common ancestor of all Indo-European languages, with the possible exception of Anatolia, originated from the Pontic-Caspian steppe, and this language has been associated with the people of the Yamnaya culture. Wow.
There you go. So this is really where you get the emergence of white people, right? Prior to that period, you can't really talk about white people. But I think, to me, when you really, really want to get into this subject matter, I think the most honest, because see what they do, they use science and scientific terms to speak in a very vague way, so that while you're reading it, you kind of have to, if you don't have backstories about some of these terms, you won't really know who they're talking about and what these people look like and at what period should you be seeing certain things in your mind, because reading comprehension is about understanding what you're reading. Am I right?
Correct.
Right? But the way that they word it, they just give you all of these names related to different technologies, and they want you to define these people by their technologies. You understand what I'm saying? And even when they use language is a technology. So what they're doing what I call tech explaining. Right? They want to tech explain you to death, so that you be so caught up with all this technology. Oh, the corded ware people and the beak people and the pick people. And it's like, motherfucker, you ain't telling me what these people look like. You're telling me what you're doing is you're sanitizing a racial story. That's what they're doing. They're using science and scientific terminology and jargon to sanitize a racial story, rather than just tell people the fucking truth. Right. So, so when you want to get into when you want to hear it in a way that people can understand it, you should use the language that I used in my in the course that I teach at ShakkaAdmoseUniversity.com. It's called Black Masters, White Slaves. Because I'll give you an example. In this presentation, they're not going to tell you that black people enslaved white people, right? They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you at what period did that happen and in what condition were these white people when that happened. That's important. And the reason that that's important is it's the same reason that most people don't know Hotep. Most people don't know that when they look at films like Lord of the Rings, right? They think that Lord of the Rings is fantasy. You understand? That's what they think. They think that Lord of the Rings is fantasy. But they're not going to tell you why most of the orcs are black. And then they're not going to tell you why the leaders of the orcs are albinos. This is a racial perspective superimposed on what you are supposed to think is fantasy, right? And then you have to look at the history of J.R. Tolkien, who was accused of being a racist and who was also accused of infusing his racism in his films, right? But what they don't tell you is what was the literature that J.R. Tolkien was reading to inform his ideas about race in antiquity. They're not going to tell you that, because when you see that stuff, that's when the story has become stark.
Wait, you said what? His what? On what?
His one-on-one on what? I don't know how to deal with the one-on-one on what.
You said he had a theory on something? Or his theory on race? Or is just his take in his book?
I said that they're not going to. All right, so let me show you right now, right? Let me just give you an example of what I mean.
I'm on his page right now.
Okay, good, right? So you're on. So
I'm
just gonna type
in the Lord of the Rings as embodying scientific racism. Oh,
exactly.
I see it here now. Okay.
You see it there?
With the late
That
19th century background of eugenics and a fear of moral decline, some of his critics saw a mention of race mixing in the Lord of the Rings and embodying scientific racism. Okay, I see it here now. And it says the orcs, reflection of wartime propaganda characters of the Japanese.
Okay, now look, the idiot that wrote that, ain't no black Japanese running around, motherfucker. The orcs were not supposed to be Japanese. The orcs were supposed to be emblematic of blacks.
Okay, so that's the black people.
That's supposed to be the black people.
Okay, I got you.
All right? That's what that's supposed to be. Actually, show you something right now that you can read to your audience. I'm just opening it up. But the JR, like my favorite film of all time is the whole Lord of the Ring franchise.
Okay.
Right? So, okay, now watch this. Type in Tulsa Doom.
Oh, okay, I heard of this one before.
James Earl Jones, Tulsa Doom. Just type that in.
Okay, I'm there.
Tell me what comes up.
Tulsa Doom is a fictional character created by American author Robert E. Howard.
All right, now, hold on. Tulsa Doom. I'm typing it up so I can see it with you. Hold on. Tulsa Doom. It's T-U, it's T-H-U or T-T-U?
T-H-U-L-S-A.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right. So Tulsa Doom. Right? Now go to images.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. All right, images.
Who do you see?
James Earl Jones.
Exactly. James Earl Jones, right?
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Okay, you see James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Now, when you click on the picture of James Earl Jones with the two white men standing beside him, click on that picture.
Okay, tragiccomedia.com.
All right?
Yeah.
Tulsa Doom.
Yeah.
Now, he's supposed to be a mythical character from Conan, right?
Yes.
But what was his symbol? If you scroll down that page, and what did he turn into? There's a picture of a monster. What did he turn into?
It looked like a deep.
Look, go back to images. Go back to images.
Okay, hold on.
All right?
I'm back on the images, yeah.
There's a picture of Tulsa Doom, James Earl Jones, and he has like a pharaonic thing on his head. It's got red symbols on it. Click on it. It's in the second row from the top.
Okay.
Do you see it?
He's got
like a pharaoh's nimbus on his head.
Got it.
See it? And it's got red emblems on it, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Why is he wearing a pharaoh's nimbus on his head?
It's a good question.
And why did he have hieroglyphs on it?
Those is definitely hieroglyphs.
Yes. And then and what was the symbol of his whole thing? His main standard was the symbol of the serpent, the snake.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
In fact, there's another picture down there. It shows you. It's two snakes meeting each other, right? What was the symbol of the Kushite kings on their crown?
The Kushite kings?
Yes.
I don't know.
Tahaka, Shabaka, Pianki. Who else? I forgot the one who came before Pianki, his father, because his father was the first main one. What was the Kushite crown, bro? Come on, man.
Oh, the double snakes. I got it on the screen right now.
Snake, exactly, the serpent.
Yeah.
So they're putting the history right in front of your face. Now, why does Tulsa Doom have two white generals standing beside him in those pictures?
I don't know.
All right. He has two white generals standing beside him in those pictures because in true history, when the African pharaohs marched into Southern Europe, why do you think they call the Black Sea the Black Sea?
I don't know.
Hey yo, pull up the Black Sea on your computer.
All right.
Just pull up the Black Sea on your computer. Can you share your screen with your audience?
It's been on the screen the whole time.
Oh, cool. Pull up the Black Sea. Pull up a map.
Yeah, just a map.
Yeah, just pull up a map.
Okay, I see it.
All right. So at the bottom of that map it should be Turkey, right?
Yep.
All right. That map where Turkey is, that's what you call Anatolia.
Okay.
All right.
It's a city here that says Anatolia. So that's yes, I see you. Yep.
Right. That's the first place that was called Anatolia.
Okay.
Right. Now, the thing you have to know about Anatolia is that is the first place on earth that was called Asia.
Okay.
By the Greeks.
Okay.
The Greeks called that place Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, all around that sea, if you look at the Black Sea,
mm-hmm.
everywhere that you could touch around that sea,
mm-hmm.
that's where black people went to go catch white slaves in antiquity.
Mm.
Okay. Now, they also had help, right?
Okay.
Let's use slavery in Africa as an example. If black people in Africa did not want to be enslaved by foreigners, especially if the foreigners had greater technology, and they realized that somebody had to be enslaved, what did those black people do?
I don't know, turn on somebody?
Of course. They said, look, don't enslave us, but we will help you enslave these motherfuckers.
Right.
Right? The black people they didn't get along with.
Okay.
Okay? Well, it was the same thing up here with white people. In fact, they did it first. Okay? So you had a group of people called the Scythians, right?
Uh-huh.
You had a group of people in the Scythians, and today these will be places like, hold on, I'm gonna need a world map for this. Because you have to see it's a larger story, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have a world map. See, this is the shit that they don't want to teach you in school because, truthfully speaking, white students will end up with an inferiority complex.
Mm.
And that's what a lot of the shit that we all deal with in the world today comes from white people inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Let me see. Map. Let me just type it in. All right, fuck it. So here we go. Give me a map of the world that I can actually read. Let me see.
I'm on Google Maps right now.
Okay. Mediterranean map. That should help. Let me see.
Damn, he killed it with that Cushites Kings, and he lined up Tulsa Doom, y'all. Oh my God. So
yeah, that's the real shit. Okay,
damn.
this I like this one. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, okay, this is a really good map. Hey yo, I'm gonna send you a link because this shows everything.
All right.
Let me see. You feel we live? Now you tell me.
We live.
All right. So this is a really good map because you can see everybody and their mama on here. Let me know when you got it. I sent it to you.
You sent it to my phone?
I texted to you, yeah.
All right, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Boom. Boom.
Ah.
Here we go. Skydia. Here you go. Yes. All right. And I'm sending you another one here. All right. So I just sent you another one. So you can actually see where Skydia was.
All right. Hold on. Scythia. Okay, I see it here.
All right. You see Skydia?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get it on the let me get it on the screen. Hold on, I'm gonna put it on the screen just a second. Hold on. Let's go here. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have it up on the screen in just a moment. Get the bomb. All right, we here.
You got Scythia?
Yeah.
All right, so you should have the world map open on one page, Scythia open on the next page. That way, everybody can see what it is we're talking about. You understand?
Yes. Okay, so what's Scythia?
All right, Scythia was those white folks who were warlike. They could not defeat the Egyptians, so they basically acted as vassals to the Egyptians to help them round up the Germanic peoples in those areas, the Slavic and Germanic peoples in those areas, who were still, I would say, technically unevolved, right? And the reason that they did this, right? The reason that they did, Herodotus wrote about it.
Okay.
Right? Herodotus wrote about it, about a particular pharaoh, an African king, who marched into Anatolia and into southern Europe and enslaved the populations en masse and put them to work in the mines. They were mining for tin and silver.
Okay.
Which had great value back in Africa. Right? So you have to remember, ancient Kemet had a precious metal and precious stone market.
Okay.
You know, that dealt with technology and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted you to see this so that when you see Tulsa Doom in the Conan movie, right? You should watch the Conan movie from jump, right? You should watch it again.
Okay.
The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because you'll have a different take on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
it's
you'll
definitely
have
time for a rewatch.
Yeah, you definitely, you'll have it. And you also want to watch Lord of the Rings. In fact, I was telling Sanetta the other day, and he freaked out when I told him. I said, if you watch Lord of the Rings, the whole franchise, when you get to part 3, which I think is the Return of the King, right?
Yeah.
It's the final chapter before it goes into the Hobbit trilogy.
Okay.
When you watch part 3 of Lord of the Rings, and you watch it with the historical knowledge that I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
You have a whole different perspective of the movie. You realize it's not a movie. It's not something that just came out of thin air. They didn't just make it up.
It's almost like a documentary.
Yeah, they looked into history and they just embellished a documentary.
Yeah.
That's all they did. They embellished it, right? But there are a lot of very real overtones from real history. You understand what I'm saying? And that part that's very important to know. You know? So yeah, it says right here, I'm reading from Manetho, Book 2, Dynasty 12. And this is from Syncelis, according to Africanus. And I'm reading from Black Athena. It says from Manetho, he's quoting Manetho, where Manetho said, in 9 years, Sesostris subdued the whole of Asia and Europe as far as Thrace, everywhere erecting memorials of his conquest of the tribes, or ethne, that they use in the term Greek. He said, upon the stela, he engraved for a valiant race the secret parts of a man, for an ignoble race those of a woman. Accordingly, he was esteemed by the Egyptians as the next in rank to Osiris. All right, so let me break that passage down.
Okay.
What that means is that this king, Sinwosret the First, he invaded Asia, or he invaded Europe through Asia, and while marching, he subdued all of the people. And if the people fought back like men, even though he defeated them, he would erect a stela that would show a phallus, right? The secret parts of a man.
Okay.
If they didn't fight back and they just let you come in and just do whatever, he would erect a stela and put the secret parts of a woman to say that these people were not men. Like they didn't have manhood.
Okay.
They didn't fight back. So, but the thing that I'm really surprised that you never read Edward Charest. Edward Charest probably gave the best breakdown. Edward Charest, in my opinion, helps you understand it the way it all should be understood.
Edward Charest?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Even though I have him right in front of me, I'm gonna text you this so you can see it. Right? Let me see. That's to the black race dominant the globe.
1891, Wales.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna send you this. Hold on one second. That way you can put it on the screen for your audience. Shouldn't send you shit, but here you go. So I'm gonna take this, bang. That's a beautiful thing about technology. You can have something in the space of a few seconds, right? I'm just gonna take that, boom. Here you go, I'm gonna let you read that to them, and then they can read this. This is,
you just texted it?
All right, cool. No, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I just took snapshots of them. All right. Here we go. Adjust the size so I can actually send it. There you go, done. Bam, easy as cake. Easy is showing the true IQ of a Republican. I'm sure. All right, so that's 2, and then this one. Yeah, man, you gotta know this shit, bro. Like, this the shit that they don't want to talk about. And the shit they don't want you to know. Let me give you an example of why this is important, right? It's like I was teaching in one of my last presentations on my platform.
Mm-hmm.
When the Germans were burning books, what do you think was inside the books that they were burning?
Oh, I watched that stream.
You understand what I'm saying?
I was live watching that stream.
Okay.
No. I think, was I live or was that a playback? I don't know. I caught that one. I know what you're talking about though. That's when you was doing the relationship between Nazis and Egyptians.
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was
Absolutely.
fire. Yeah, I got to go look at that. That's on Shakka channel. Relationship between Nazis and
the secret relationship between Egyptology and Nazis.
Right. The secret relationship between Egyptology and Nazis. Yeah, that shit was fucking my head up. I was like, oh damn.
And it's important to know that because these are the people who are the whole. How you gonna have the most racist people on the planet be the custodians of Black history? That shit don't even make sense. The fuck. And then Black people too fucking stupid to do anything about it. Fuck out of here. Why? Because everything else is important. That's why your kids don't know shit. They stupid, and will always serve white people. Real talk. You know.
Oh man, yo, I appreciate all the info, man.
Yeah, black people. Black people find serving white people to be convenient. It's hella convenient.
Say that again.
I said black people find serving white people to be hella convenient.
Explain that.
They ain't gotta do shit. You ain't gotta do nothing. You ain't gotta stand on your own 2 feet.
That's
psychologically.
True. That's true.
Culturally, linguistically, black people in America cannot stand on their own 2 feet linguistically. When they think in English, a German language, a Germanic language, right? Real talk. When they dream in English, a Germanic language. The fuck? Germans own your thoughts and your dreams. The fuck are you talking about? That's about basic shit. Black people are too stupid to think about basic shit. If you're too stupid to think about basic shit, who can help you?
Nobody.
You're talking about basic shit, bro. Something as simple as Get yourself another language just so you can think in your own conceptual framework.
Yep. Yep. We was talking about that the other day.
Yeah. That's why I study metal nature. That's why I read and write hieroglyphs. So I can think in our language. I can look at our cultural conceptual framework. Right? What if you have things in your own language that supersede anything white people have? Right? Now black people gonna suck at the dick of artificial intelligence, AI. Right? Which is nothing but an extension of white people. That's it. Take my word for it. All white people did was they apotheosized their thought frequency in technology. That's what they did.
We call them people of whiteness.
Oh, people of whiteness?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't call them that. You know what I call them? If y'all, hey, look, if we're colored, and this is what I was thinking about that whole thing on the floor, right? When they had that argument about him using the word color. I'm like,
what do you think about that?
I'm like, why would you be mad that he called us colored people? Right? I have no problem with them calling us colored people. I have a problem with us not using the corresponding term for them. If we're colored people, then they're colorless people. Call them what the fuck they are. All right? You're colorless people. If we're colored, then you're colorless. Am I right?
That's gotta be how it goes.
All right. So just use the corresponding term. That's it. Stop getting mad. Stop getting angry. Just use the corresponding term. If we're colored, then you're colorless. Okay, that's what we're gonna call you, colorless people. That's it. Nobody's mad.
That's what I said. I said I didn't understand why she was upset.
Well, the only reason that she should be upset is that when you use the term colored people, you're putting a person's color before their humanity. You understand?
Said what?
When you use the term colored people,
yeah,
you're putting a person's color before their personhood.
Okay.
You're making their color the most important thing about them. Colored people.
Right.
Right? Now, when you say people of color, that's the opposite. That's the reverse.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
People of color. This is a person first. Right? It's a person first. And they happen to be a person of color who has color.
Right.
Right? Right. And you are people who are colorless. Or they're people who are colorless. I have no problem. You know, what the guy should have said, I, as a colorless person, have no issues about colored people. Okay, cool. Now the conversation is balanced, has equity, all that other shit. You understand? So the problem is people don't understand language and how to use it. So look at those two things that I sent you, and you can read that for your audience.
Hold on.
If you got the ball.
Le Grand Initiates. It's some French shit. Okay. Edward Shaw. I see it here. It says the black race dominated the globe. Oh my Lord Jesus. Hold on a second, man. Wait a second. What? The black race dominated the globe. One must look for the superior species, the best race, in the Abyssinian and the Nubian, in whom is preserved the type of this race at its height. The latter invaded southern Europe in prehistoric times and were driven back by the inhabitants. Their trace has been completely erased from our popular traditions. During the period of their supremacy, they had religious centers in Upper Egypt and in India. Their cyclopean cities crenellated the mountains of Africa, the Caucasus, and Central Asia. Their social organization was an absolute theocracy. At the top were priests who were feared like the gods. These priests possessed profound knowledge, the principle of the divine unity of the universe and the worship of the stars. Moreover, they possessed an already scientific industry, especially the art of handling huge stones by means of the ballista and of melting metals in immense furnaces at which they used prisoners of war. Okay, let me read the second one here.
Right.
The white race was only in its violent, wild youth. passionate in the spiritual sphere. It had yet to undergo many other and more bloody crises. It had just been awakened by the attacks of the black race, which was beginning to invade the south of Europe. This was an unequal
That's what
struggle.
we were just talking about. That's where you see Thulsa Doom. That's where you see the orcs in Lord of the Rings. That's what all of that stuff is. Go ahead, continue on.
This was an unequal struggle from the beginning. The half-savage whites, just emerging from their forests and their lacustrine homes, had no other means of defense than their spears and their stone-tipped arrows. The blacks had iron weapons, armor of brass, all the resources of their industrial civilization and their cyclopean cities.
Right.
Defeated in the first encounter, the white captives became the slaves of the black men, who forced them to quarry stone and to carry.
You heard that part? You heard that part? That part is very important.
What? Defeated in the first encounter, the white captives became the slaves of the black men.
Facts.
Lord have mercy. Who forced them to quarry stone and to carry crude ore into their furnaces. Escaped captives brought back to their own country the customs, skills, and fragments of the science of their conquerors. They learned two things from the black men: the smelting of metals and holy writing. That is, the art of recording certain ideas by means of a mysterious hieroglyphic signs, which they inscribed on the skins of beasts, on stone, or the bark of the ash tree. From this we get the runes of the Celts. Smelted, forged metal was the instrument of war. Sacred writing was the origin of science and of religious tradition.
Right.
Damn.
Okay. So
there's another page here.
Oh, go ahead.
The struggle between the white and the black races wavered back and forth for many centuries, from the Pyrenees to the Caucasus, and from the Caucasus to the Himalayas. The salvation of the white men was in their forests. There, like wild animals, they could hide themselves, reappearing at a suitable moment. Emboldened, disciplined, and better armed as centuries progressed, they finally took revenge, overthrew the cities of the black men, drove them from the coast of Europe, later invading North Africa and Central Asia, and then inhabited by black peoples.
Right.
Amazing. Fucking mind-blowing.
Okay.
Fucking mind-blowing.
So then inhabited by black people. Now, if you notice that last part, right, where it said later invading North Africa, then inhabited by black peoples.
Yes.
So what that does is that gets rid of the North African myth that light-skinned people were always in North Africa. That's a lie. Right? The truth of the matter is right there in black and white in ink. It was published in 1911. And all Europeans knew that in antiquity, North Africa was all black, damn near 100% black. And they knew that. They knew that. It was no secret, right? You don't get lighter skinned people coming into North Africa until much later. Much later, right? With different invasions. With each succeeding invasions, you're getting lighter skinned people coming in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you really couldn't even call them white, just lighter skinned people, So first real white. Yeah.
Listen. I got to get back to the phone lines, and I want to hear what people got to say about this. I want y'all to call in. I want to hear y'all response to this lecture just given by Shakka. Shakka, this is amazing work, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. Just put my Cash App up on the screen, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Cash App Shakka Admose. A mods. Cash App Shakka Admose. Throw it in the chat for him, yo. All right, thank you, bro.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna send it to you to make sure you have it.
Say less.
All right. Hey, yo, my love to the nephews, all right?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
For sure. All right.
Oh, man. Well, somebody in the chat said, Hotep Jesus, you got to change the title of this one. I'm about to change this to the title of this to The Origin of White People. The origin of white people and the European. Yo, do me a favor, man. Cash App Shakka right now, yo. I need y'all to Cash App him for that, for just dropping a fucking masterclass in the middle of my stream. I need y'all to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to bless him, yo. Oh, my God. I forgot what the show was about today. I don't even know what the show. Somebody said you got to change the name. You right, I got to change the name of this, man. The origin of white people. He said, let Shakka do a whole show. See, Shakka be wanting to come on my channel, and I'd be like, it make more sense for him to do his lectures on his channel. But can't nobody interview Shakka like me. I mean, can't nobody interview like me. Except for Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan the GOAT. Joe Rogan on another level. But other than Rogan, can't nobody interview Shakka like me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. But y'all got to go subscribe, man. I want y'all to build Shakka's empire, man. Don't come over here. Go straight, get it from the source. Get it straight from the source, man. And go bless his Cash App, please. The origin of the colorless. Oh, I like that name. 202-596-5631. Not awake. Go ahead, call back in here, man. If y'all want to get in line for the phone calls, text me.
Call from
Millie.
Yo, you on the line with Hotep Jesus?
Hello. Hey. You can call me Millie.
Millie?
This Millie, yeah.
What up, Millie?
Hey. So, I started listening to you around the Canadian protest last year.
Okay.
The trucker protest. That's when I first stumbled. So yeah, that's when I first stumbled upon you. But this is my first time calling in, so.
Oh, nice. Welcome. Appreciate you calling in. What's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. So the last gentleman was very interesting. It was my first time. I never heard of him before, so he said some interesting things that I'm going to have to look up. Just a couple other things too that I politely disagree with. So, like, no disrespect or anything to him.
Like what?
Okay. So a couple of things about the whole Nordic. Some of the words that he used. Maybe this is just a game of semantics, but I do travel to Scandinavia a lot, and I just wanted to mention that the Finns are a separate tribe. They're not part of they are geographically, they're physically located in the Nordic area, but the Finns are a separate tribe. They're known as Uralic people, and they migrated from some faraway mountains in Russia. Also, I do travel to Scandinavia, and you'll notice some phenotypical differences between Finnish people compared to Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish people. Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Icelandic, Faroese, all those people descend from Germanic tribes. Once, a long time ago, what English people spoke, Anglo-Saxon, and I forget the term. I think it's called Ancient Nordic, I believe. Those languages were almost intelligible. Like, you could speak one language, you could speak Ancient Anglo-Saxon and Ancient Nordic, and you could kind of understand each other because the two languages were, intelligible. So I hope that's making some sense to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm following. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that the Finns are Russian people.
Yeah.
Because again, you have to remember that the time that they migrated from there, what we know as Russia today was, not Russia back then, but they migrated from that region that we currently call Russia. And, Russia is a massive country that has also conquered many different tribes. I mean, the majority of Russia is made up of Eastern Asiatic people. So, I wanted to touch on that. And there were a couple other things that kind of escape me right now, but this is more of just a question that I have. I don't mean this in any kind of like a pejorative way, but something that I'll occasionally hear amongst like, Pan-African or I guess, I don't want to say Hotep. I don't know if this includes Hotep, and it is new to me, but I'll sometimes hear things like, the black man was intelligent and advanced, and the white man was primitive, and unintelligent. So I honestly just want to know if anyone has an answer to this. If that was the case, then why is it that it seems that the black man fell to somebody who was so primitive and lesser than him? I just want to know, how is that possible that he was defeated by someone primitive? You know, could it be that there's more nuance and perhaps things are not so, you know, forgive me for the pun, not so black and white, not evil versus good. Perhaps, you know, is there more nuance to this? And I just honestly want to know what is someone's answer who knows more about this.
Well, how did tables turn is basically what you're asking.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know enough about what some of the people.
Well, if you had to take a guess, if this was a thought experiment, and you had to take a guess, and you know, what would you hypothesize?
How I feel is, I think some of this is magical thinking, and I think that some of it is a projection of insecurities. He mentioned that a lot of our educational system in the West is a projection of white insecurity, and I do agree with that, but I also think a lot of the talk about, some people use this in a pejorative manner, like we was kangs. I sometimes think that some of that is also insecure thinking, because I feel that you don't need to prove that your ancestors were great or terrible to feel good about yourself. So that's just what my opinion is on it, but I'm interested in hearing, you know, what you have to say about it.
You know, it's like the question answers itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have to look back to previous kings to get our self-esteem. But if we do, people start disagreeing. So I asked them, do you need the story changed to make you feel better?
Okay, so you're saying hypothetically you're asking them? I didn't hear you that well.
Millie, I'm about to get big brain on you. I'm a philosopher, so follow me.
Okay.
The story goes, black man was great, white man was rudimentary. The tables turn. White man on top, black man on bottom. Right?
Okay.
You're questioning that, right?
Yes.
Probably because you care, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if a black man cares about his history saying that we was kangs,
mm-hmm.
and then you come around and you go, well, y'all wasn't on top. I don't believe that story. It's because you care, as you've already stated.
Mm-hmm.
Which says emotions have a lot to do with this. It also says that both parties possess emotions about the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is these parties don't want to admit it. Okay? They'll admit it for the opposite group, but they won't admit it for themselves. Which comes back to the theory of white insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you care? If you can build your self-esteem without the past, why do you care if somebody says the black man ruled the earth?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter because you're made of an individual.
Yes. So I do agree with that. I agree with that point. My question is, suppose all of this turned out to be true and finally was accepted in Western education. My question is, and you know, this refers to Black Americans, you know, it's a different culture in every continent, but would this satisfy Black America? You know, would then Black America be able to, I guess, find, how am I trying to word this? I feel like there's a lot of validation seeking in Black America, as the gentleman earlier mentioned, you know, trying to get some kind of validation from the white man. So suppose that this was finally acknowledged. Would Black America finally be happy? I kind of see this as another validation seeking of Black America from white America, if that makes any sense.
If we wrote the history as the history was, would that just make Black people happy? Is that what you're saying?
If it was fine, if this history was finally accepted as the true history or as fact.
Yeah.
Because essentially it would be white America establishing this.
I think the issue is you don't have any Black friends, do you?
Oh, well, I'm actually mixed, but I'm not no Black American. I'm not Black American heritage.
Do you have any Black friends?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Are they black or white black?
What do you mean, like Black American or foreign Black?
Like, is they from the hood?
Yeah, I guess you could say I do have a couple. Yeah,
okay.
A couple of from the hood friends.
Are they angry?
You know, I've been cutting some toxic people out of my life, but I know a couple who have that passion. Yeah.
Okay. And what are they saying? What are they saying about this subject matter? What are they angry about with America?
The similar things. They feel kind of they feel cheated, or they feel that there's racial inequality. They feel oppressed and things like that.
Okay.
Oppressed by the white man, and so forth.
Okay. Okay. And you don't think there's any legitimacy there?
Oh no, I definitely think there's legitimacy there.
Okay. So you think that, I guess the question now is, if we write the history, will it appease Black people? Knowing how the system's already set up, would that one thing make Black people happy, I guess is your question.
Yeah, that's, and I guess it's more of a question for reflection. I feel like there's a push to prove a point, and this extends to all kinds of things in our lives when we're trying to prove a point. If the point were to get proven, would Black America finally feel happy? You know, I just see it as validation seeking once again from white America, saying, white America, please validate us. Please acknowledge us. That's how I'm seeing it.
Well, yeah. I would have to agree with that, the latter part of that statement.
Mm-hmm. You
know, it does seem like a lot of validation. The question I have is that validation Black people? Is that the validation mission? Like, what you see on your devices, is that really Black people? Because the majority of Black people I talk to don't say, hey, I wish they, would teach the right education in schools. Usually what they say to me is, man, Biden fucked up the economy and I need to get some money. Where Trump at? I need money. That the usual thing is, you fix my pockets and everything's happy. That seems to be the number one priority to Black people is, how can I get some money? Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree.
So then all we know is that if we can get Black people some money or help them earn money, free up money, lower interest rates, right? Give people access to money as the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. Following a pandemic, right? With vaccines that disproportionately affect Black people. Am I allowed to say that, YouTube? You come back and what? That
reminded me of another thing. When the RFK clip that you played, I'm going to have to read more into that. I do remember early on, though, early on in the pandemic, and I'll watch what I say because I know that certain things we have to watch how we talk about this topic. But I do remember early on, I believe South Korea, Iceland, and a couple other countries did some, I think they did like nationwide tests, and they found that most people carrying it were asymptomatic, like majority of the people carrying it were asymptomatic. So that means that at any given point, people could just be walking around perfectly fine and not even know that they had it. And all throughout the pandemic, the common thing that we saw were the number one people who were, first of all, not, at the time when it was bad, before the jab came out, I believe the survival rate around that time was like 94%, 96%. It was already a pretty high survival rate.
Yeah.
Not compared to like Ebola or, something that's like actually deadly in a threat.
Yeah.
And then after, the thing came out, I think we got like another 2%, bump on the survival rate. And the majority of the people who we saw were perishing were people who had at a minimum of 4 or more comorbidities, particularly people who were obese and elderly. So it's already a very tiny percentage of people who were perishing, succumbing to this. And then amongst that very, very minuscule, tiny percentage of people who are succumbing to it, we noticed slightly larger groups of those happen to be some of the groups that RFK referred to, which would be African Americans and then white Americans. So the point I'm trying to make here
Can I
is...
ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
Was white people slaves?
Yeah.
Did black people cause that?
Honestly, I think blacks enslaved whites at some point. I don't want to say that they are.
Which blacks?
They were
When? Where?
In Africa.
Okay. When?
In ancient times.
Okay.
I would have to read more on this, to be honest with you.
Okay. So ancient times. Okay. All right. Is there a possibility that, what I read from Edward Shorey, that could have been true, that black people were advanced and, Europeans came in and learned the technology and learned the ways and learned theocracy and took it back to their homeland and learned how to duplicate power? Wouldn't that make sense how things became what they are now?
I don't deny that it's possible, but I'm just saying that it seems the way some people talk about it, it seems a little too fantastical, a little bit like fantastical thinking.
Well,
like
what about how I'm saying it
backpack.
now? What about how I'm saying it now?
Yeah, the way you're talking about it, I think on a smaller scale, some of it could have been true. I'm just saying I need more information to just accept it as full-blown fact. I need more information. That's why I'm questioning it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's hogwash.
Right.
I'm just saying that some of it I'm skeptical and I need more information.
Oh, that's fair. That's totally fair. No, I totally get that. Yeah. No, I appreciate the call, Millie. I appreciate the call. I appreciate you watching and everything.
Yeah, thank you.
And, I appreciate the questions. But, for me, it's like I don't draw my power, from, we was kangs. I think what this more relates to is, I'm trying to think of a good example, a good analogy here, but it's like, imagine, do you live with your biological mother and father at some point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised by both.
Imagine if they came to you one day and was like, yo, you're adopted. You want to meet your new parents? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. That's what it's like. It's like you you fucking wake up one day and you find out, like, wait, hold on, we wasn't slaves, we was kangs. Oh wow, you'd be pretty fucking excited about that. You'd be like, yo, I want to meet my mom and I want to meet my dad, right? And you're gonna want to go and look and see, you know, okay, do they have any kids and brothers and sisters? And I have more family, right? When it happens in adulthood, which happens for many of us, you know, you're 20, 30 years old, you know, it's going to be a lot of time that, you know, you spend in those years strictly excited, having lots of emotions, you know, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, the issue I have is these people are projecting how they perceive themselves, right? So this group of people says we was kangs, and people have a problem with that. And I think the people have a problem with that because they have an insecurity. And that's how these leftists come up with terms, white fragility. And I'm like, sometimes that shit is true. They don't use the term right, but if you're mad because I said I come from kings, it's just like, what's wrong with you? You know, everybody on this planet has a belief system. And I think a lot of war has been started from telling people how they should think about themselves, how they should perceive themselves, you know, and one group just, you know, at one point taught people how to think in, you know, of themselves as being inferior. And that's not what I want to teach you. I don't want to teach superiority or inferiority, but yeah, that's my my feel on it.
I fully agree. Like, I think it's totally fine to want to research your ancestry and, you know, feel proud of your heritage. And I think that everybody deserves that opportunity to feel proud of their heritage. You know, we're going through something in our country right now where pretty much every group is allowed to feel proud about its heritage. You know, and it's kind of staring towards a direction where white Americans can't feel proud about their heritage.
Yes.
So I think everyone deserves an opportunity for that, and so that's not at all what I have an issue with.
But y'all gotta be educated about it, and this is what Shakka Admose is talking about. You know, y'all gonna have to claim Yum Naya. You know what I mean? Claim Yum Naya. Stop using those terms like white. We are the people of Yum Naya. You know, we're the courted.
Well, I'm gonna mention I'm a mixed race, so I'm not a Yum Naya or whatever. I mean, and if I get a DNA test, probably half, but
you got Yum Naya in you, but that would be my suggestion. You know, you running around calling yourself white, you ain't white, you Yum Naya. Get your culture back.
Yeah. My thing is just the whole insecurity thing, and it extends
insecurity
to
what?
other people.
We can't say we was kangs?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people trying to prove that somehow they are an awesome figure because of some ancient ancestor they have. I kind of
I don't think it's that. I think it's just telling history as it is. You know, citing sources. The source says, yo, you know, the black race was in North Africa, the Mediterranean, Central Asia, and they used to invade the white races. The white races became slaves. Some of them defected. They took the technology back to their homeland. They built that shit up, and they came back for revenge. It sounds like it all makes sense to me. It doesn't sound like anything.
To you, because, you know, you have that level of intelligence, but, you know, as you mentioned earlier, I feel like the average person is not thinking like that, you know, and just from what I observed, there's just a whole lot.
Well, what are they thinking?
Okay, so my black side is, you know, Caribbean black.
Yeah.
And I think you said you were half Jamaican, so I see a lot of insecurity in Black America. There's just a lot of it.
Okay.
And, you know, I'd also compare it to like the American obsession of everybody wanting to be Cherokee to like prove some point.
Yeah.
You know, and so what? Who cares? What, like, okay, one thing is great to be proud of your ancestry, but on the other end, what point are you trying to prove? What does that say about you? Okay, your ancestors supposedly did this, that, and the third. But what does that say about you, your character as a person? What are you doing now? You know, your ancestors did amazing things, but what are you doing today to make your life better and make your community better? And that's the issue I have with a lot of these people spouting this stuff about we was kangs and whatever. What are you actually doing besides whining and complaining? What are you doing to grow as a person and grow your community? So that's where I take issue.
Absolutely. Valid point. Absolutely. I love that. Hey, man, Millie, I got to go. I got to go Rudy in here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, yo. Rudy, my bad. Go ahead, yo. Tether talk? Yeah, that's that tether talk. They gonna look in the chat after the call and report H-Day on Twitter. Yo, shout out to my Yum Nayas in the chat. I see you. I see you, Yamna. I see you, Yamna. You know, I'm not here to play superiority and inferiority games, and mostly because of what she said, because I already feel like me as an individual, I'm superior.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I am the
Call
one.
from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy, what up, man?
Yo.
What's good, y'all?
The origins of Whitey, man.
That's what I should call it, the origins of Whitey.
the origins of why, but not Whitey. Don't spell out the Whitey. Just put YT. The origins of Whitey.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look, dude. It makes perfect sense, right? It makes perfect sense what he was saying, because, you know, every race of human being was enslaved at some point in time on this planet. Man.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense what he says. You know, when you think about, you know, before ancient Egypt was, you know, and then the black folks going up into Europe taking slaves, and like you said, slaves putting them in their smelting and showing them the secrets. They escape. Yep. They take it back.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, those ancient black people, if they could see what happened today,
they would never enslave them.
Yeah, we're not taking.
You see how the lessons in there, Rudy? You see how the lessons in there, and that's what I'm glad you said that, because that's what the last caller needed to hear. Maybe she's still listening, because that's a great way to explain it. Like, you're looking at it as if, you know, we're claiming superiority, but really it's showing you how stupid it is to introduce the world to the idea of slavery.
Yeah, not only that though, it's not the idea of slavery, one for sure, brother. But the second part though is giving the Germans weapons technology. Yeah, because them motherfuckers have been doing it since back in the day, dude. You know what I'm saying? You look at us right now. You look at us right now as a world. Every fucking thing that we use in weaponry come out of that Nazi war machine, man. The jet fighter, the semi-automatic rifle, the Tiger tanks, the ballistic missiles, drones, nuclear bombs. So those
talk heavy, Rudy.
Those ancient Africans going up there and teaching them German, and then listen, like he said, they were savages. You know, they were just up there. They were, you know, just a step off of Cro-Magnon. They're up in there living in caves. Like, even if you go look at ancient Ireland and all of that, they had stone huts where they were living underground. You know what I'm saying? Here comes these civilized folk with weaponry and organized armies, took them, and they took the technology, and it took them years and years and years. But once they got it and they built it for themselves,
it was a wrap. And
then the Romans even the Romans came along. You know, they would battle with them, but when they got organized under Attila, and they learned how to use organized armies, it's been on ever since, dude. Them motherfuckers been on. They've been. Come on, man. Germany is not a big country, man. It took on the world twice, dude. You know what I'm saying? It took on the whole world twice, man.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, and with him breaking down false doom, I always knew that shit. I knew there was something deeper, because, you know, just Thulsa Doom with the two Nordic gods, his henchmen, and even in that whole Conan thing, like he said, I didn't really know about the snake symbolism, but I knew how the Mongols, remember how Conan got snatched up by they took him out to the Mongols to teach him how to sword fight, and they gave him the creed: smash the women, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. That's what the Mongols did. Came in, killed all the fucking men, raped all the fucking women, and moved on to the next place, man. So him breaking down the symbology of Theradoon, man, that shit was deep, man. And if listen, people need to start expanding their minds, man, and realize the history you've been taught in our schools. Like, even with the history of the founding fathers, like, I've heard you break down things, and I've followed some work Alex Jones put me on, where Jefferson, Washington, and Adams were writing about the Illuminati back, taking over the Masons in Europe years. You know what I'm saying? There's writings, but they're never going to teach you any of that in school. They're never going to teach you that there was a guy named Hutchinson who was the tax collector from England, that the fucking Patriots went up, snatched up, tarred him, feathered him, ran him down the street naked to the point where he had to go back to England. They ruined him. You know what I'm saying? Because they're never going to teach you that, because they want to take 42% of your money if you live in New York City between state, local, and federal. They want 42% of your money. But but in 1775 they were taking taxmen, tarring them up, kicking in their doors, stripping them naked, dumping them in tar, and putting feathers on them to the point they had to go back to England. They ruined them. Hutchinson, Massachusetts. Look it up, folks. But no, that shit was deep, dude. That shit was deep, man. And don't pussyfoot around it, man. These are conversations that need to be had, man. But it makes perfect sense to me, man. It makes perfect sense to me, because let's not, archaeology and history teaches it all comes from Africa, man. It all comes from Africa. And I remember on the Public Enemy album back in the day, this is what opened my eyes back in the day. On the Public Enemy album, in the background of one of the songs, it said, black man, black woman, black baby. White man, black woman, black baby. White woman, black man, black baby. And then you think about it, with an albino. You know what I'm saying? White people ain't creating. You can't have two white people go out and have sex and have a black baby, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look deeper, man. And if you are insecure about it, or you feel like, dude, like, what's it got to do it now? I ain't got nothing to do it now. But if you don't know where you came from, you'll never know where you're fucking going, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you letting me in, man. I'm back on Law and Detail, man. I love everybody in the chat, man. Goldstein, what up? Strong Dad, what up? Everybody, Tanai, what up? But, that was deep, man. I like that, man. That was a good conversation, man. The origins of Whitey.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you too, brother. I love you, man. Have a good one, man. Hotep and Bill to everybody.
Hotep and Bill. Rudy. Hey, Matari, man, get in there, bro. Pause. Hotep Jesus done brought y'all the origin of white people, man. Oh, man. Wait till y'all come to HotepCon. Y'all, the amount of gems that's going to be dropped at HotepCon. Oh, my God. I'll be having to walk away, especially when Tanai get to talking. I'm like, nigga, stop talking. I ain't want to hear no more. I got to walk away. Let me go over here and see what so-and-so talking about. Because this nigga, man, it's going to be some gems dropped. And the other thing is the gems at HotepCon is different because it's not the internet. I could really tell you some sources. I could tell you some shit. People be like, Hotep Jesus, what you read? I'm like, damn, I don't know if I can type this on the internet. I ain't tweeting that shit. I ain't tweeting you my booklets. You serious? I'll tell you some shit like, go to HotepJesus.com, read one of my books. Go look at the sources in my books. Go get the Patriot Report and start with the sources. It's over 200 citations in the Patriot Report. Go check them. Oh, man. Doozy.
Call from.
Sorry,
what up, man?
Yo.
What's good?
I ain't even mad about that. For real. He blew my mind real quick.
Pause. Yo, so now you could tell people like I know where white people came from.
No, for real. Like, I mean, cause I kind of knew, but like he always provide that missing link for me. Like ever since you introduced me to him, like I've been following his stuff. I gotta send like.
Did you bless his cash app?
What is it? What? Yeah, what's that cash app? I gotta send him something.
Shakka Admose. SHAKKAAHMOSE.
Cause he was doing a stream like a couple weeks ago, where he was going over like the modern day Egypt and them being
That's a secret relationship between Egyptology and Nazis. That lecture is stupid crazy.
And I knew some of the stuff because I was there. Yeah, I actually was like, he was asking questions in the audience and I was answering some of them.
Oh, okay.
So I knew some of them, but he always provide the missing links. Like I'll be like, man, shit, where you find that?
Now the best part was when he put up on the screen, Caucasian is obsolete.
Oh yeah, because I don't even use that.
Said it's obsolete. Can't even use that. We just gave niggas a homeschool course on race.
For real.
See, this is what we gonna put in the critical race theory course. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this in the critical race theory course?
But if you taught that shit, they would say it is. Like the scientists would definitely be like, "Oh, we can't have that.
We can't have that.
We can't have this in our schools. This rewriting of history. This woke propaganda. This is what they're gonna call it, man. You know."
Nah, they can't do that. They can't do that. Listen.
Shoot, he Italian himself. What you
Mulian. Oh man, listen. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a spicy subject. I mean,
you know what's crazy though? Like, I got a friend named Nicky. He's Sicilian. You know, a lot of them know.
Yeah.
They know where they're from. They know where they're from. And he always say like, he's like, man, I'm a mutt, man. You know, Sicilians are we mutts, man. I was like, look, man, he knows. He don't even need to know much more than that. You know, he's kind of a musclehead.
Yeah.
But he knows.
Here's my thing. The critical race theory that they have at Arizona State or Berkeley don't have this. I know it don't.
That's what be making me mad too, because I'm like, man, y'all could really be teaching some stuff too, but they go back and try to rewrite the founding of the country and stuff.
All they do is complain about slavery.
Yeah.
They focus on that one part of history. We were slaves. That's what critical race theory is.
Because they be talking about 400 years. I'm like, but you really gonna look at history and focus on 400 years?
Word.
I'm like, that's a flash in the pan.
Exactly. You can't. That's a small sample. You need a bigger sample size.
That's why they call America a young country too. A lot of people don't even think about it. They think all this is gonna last forever and everything. Everybody, look, I mean, a lot of countries lasted as long as America lasted and fell.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, yo, America was the white man's greatest invention. If we're gonna really do a critical race theory, America was the white man's greatest invention. Because America is not a nation; it's an anti-nation.
Oh yeah, but see, they don't want. A lot of people wouldn't admit that. A lot of them would not. You know what the funny thing is?
No, it's not that they won't admit it. It's that they're not equipped with the knowledge. But go ahead.
Well, no, it is, but because I was it's something I wanted to talk to you about. The original reason I wanted to call in and talk to you because I saw one of the shows I watched. They had Christopher Russo, and he described libertarianism as essentially. He said that they don't think that the state should be that the people should be able to regulate the state, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, that's like the core tenet of libertarianism is regulating the state, especially. And so but I was talking to someone else, who's not really a fan of him anyway, but he was like, well, you know, he's more of a Christian nationalist in a sense, really, so he doesn't even really want to understand it. Like, he doesn't care to understand it, right? Even if he's probably not that stupid, because, you know, Chris Fools, we don't really think he's stupid, right? But he don't care to understand it. Like, they don't care to understand it. Because they don't want it to be an anti-nation. They want it to be a nation. They want it to, I mean, a lot of, you know, they might want it to be, you know, a white nationalist, like, you know, but...
Nah, DeSantis just grifting.
No, not DeSantis. DeSantis. This was we used to talk about Christopher Rufo was the guy talking about that. But I think a lot of people just think that of him because, you know, he's a Christian and he wants certain things but I think they caught a conversation of him talking about like what his ideal would actually be. You know, it's more like kind of like a theocracy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what a lot of them do want. You know, at their core, of course, you would want your values.
I do too.
Your government, whatever. You know,
I do too. If I ran, you know, when I have Hotepistan, oh, absolutely, you motherfuckers getting a new religion. We're gonna have all different color hijabs for the women. It's gonna be Sharia law in Hotepistan.
Hotep, you're a
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I mean, you know, most of the cultures early on, like, they had head coverings.
Listen,
they all had head coverings.
They did. Even early American women. I mean, the culture of the 20s, you didn't leave the house without your hat on. That was the culture. You don't leave your house and not have your head covered. It's something you didn't do. And then you didn't wear your hat in the house. Now we wear our hat in the house and we go outside with our hair out.
Shit, I got my hair out all the time. Unless it's messy, I put the hat on just to cover it up. I'll be rocking the fro, you know. It don't always be even.
You don't see the black ladies when they go to church, they be battling with the hats.
Oh yeah. Well, they be battling with more than just a hat.
Oh, absolutely.
They be battling with them wigs too.
Oh, the wigs. Well, the wigs is a given. The wigs is a given. You know what I'm saying? You know, but even the wig was a form of covering your natural hair. Because that's how some Orthodox Jewish women do it. They they don't leave the house.
That's why I ain't even mad at it for real.
You know, they wear wigs, and so that's technically covering their hair. You know, so a lot of this shit is ancestral, and a lot of it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get me a new kufi to speak of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I always got it on.
Fucking Goldstein.
I always got it on spiritually.
Who is this? All right, man. Yo, the phone calls is hot, man. I got to get out of here too, man. It's 5:15. I'm going overtime. Yo, we got the Grift. I mean, the Hotep's been told you tonight, man. You gonna watch tonight?
Oh hell yeah.
All right, we live 8 p.m. with Cannon. What should we do the show on tonight?
Damn, I don't even know. That hearing was pretty funny.
RFK shit.
Yeah, that one and the Hunter Biden.
The Biden shit. Chat.
Yeah, that Hunter Biden that shit with Marjorie Taylor Greene was pretty funny. I low-key want to see what Uncut got to say about that. If he ain't said that already.
I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna ask the chat. Chat, what we gonna do the show on tonight? Everybody type in the chat what we gonna do tonight. All right, let me get to these calls, bro.
All right, bro. Hotep a bill.
Hotep a bill. 765. I told you I just text me, man. Y'all wait till now to get in the phone line. You lucky I'm a nice guy. I should have left like 15, 17 minutes ago. 765. Go ahead, call me. 10 for a do-rag. I know you got a whole package of notes, so you got to hold on a second. Unless you just get in now. Pause. Rumble chat, what's up, yo? He said Unk's diet should be the topic always. Oh, man. He killing Unk. Men are not supposed to have head coverings. Oh, okay. All right. My grandma had an excellent hat collection. Shout out to grandma. Only the future. He said ancient Egyptian women did wear ceremonial wigs, I believe. That sounds about right. Uncle Pudge, what up? I see you. Hotep and Bill. What's YouTube talking about? I'm in a YouTube chat looking at y'all. HJ, most of the world sees American as an ethnicity. Yo, it might be. It might, I don't know. It might be. Americans so stuck on seeing themselves as everything but American. Yeah, I think we're kind of unique, yo. You know, Americans, see, America was an experiment, and we are, you know, its subjects. We are the rats. We are the mice. We are the lab mice, bro. That's why I be telling people I got a vaccine injury and shit. Matter of fact, where's my disclaimer? I ain't even throw my disclaimer up today. Disclaimer. It contains adult humor and was created strictly for comedic and artistic purposes. No offense is intended toward any products or individuals featured in this video. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers fucked me up.
Call from
10-4 Do-Rag.
10-4 Do-Rag, what up, bro?
Not much. I'm giving you a call real quick.
Oh, absolutely. My bad. I hit two buttons at the same time. I'm high and shit. What's good, bro? What's on your mind? What you got for me today?
Not much. I really wanted to say thank you about calling Shakka Admose in there, because
oh, that shit was fire, bro.
He was shooting 100 for 100. Like,
did you cash app him?
Nah, so I'm gonna buy some courses.
You said what? You gonna buy some courses? Yeah. That's good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That Black White History thing, definitely need to cop that.
Yeah, cop that.
I might just cop the whole package, to be honest. His prices is fair. I mean, his level of education is crazy. So anybody listening that don't watch his channel, go watch his channel. His level of like detail is crazy.
Crazy. Unmatched.
Yeah, but I definitely want to say thank you about that. I see that there's a lot of new people coming in and some people in the chat. Listen, people come in from at different times, different places, different, phases in life. Just let them be. Like, you're doing a great job leading them. So keep doing your thing. Everybody just be patient. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to put disparaging comments in the chat. That's really what I'm just saying, because we all been there. The last thing I wanted to touch on real quick was the hats. So there's something that I heard a long time ago in Talib Kweli's song, For Women, I think. It was like a bonus song, something like that. He talked about how, like, a dread lady on the train was talking about how she wraps her hair, or she had locks, to be clear, but how she wrapped her hair because they're antennas and, give out energy. And then also when you look at the yarmulke, what I believe that to be is covering the crown chakra. So that's pretty much to protect yourself from anything bad, negative, connecting to everybody else and everything else. And when you're in your domicile, that's when you're safe and you're covered and you got your own energy.
I like that. Bars.
So that's why I stay with the 10-4 Do-Rag.
That's all you had?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't coming with nothing crazy.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Cause yesterday you came fully loaded. I was like, so today I was on pins and needles.
I had a lot more, but Shakka just, blew my mind. So I was just like, yo, I can't even remember anything else. I don't even want to go back. Like,
yo, when that shit said Caucasian obsolete, I was like, oh, that's the name of the coffin.
Facts. The colorless. Oh, I'm using that all the time, man.
The colorless.
Yeah. Now they're not even gonna know, and they just gonna feel away too. So. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate you.
Yo, appreciate you. Thanks, bro.
Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. 10-4 Do-Rag on the chicken. Oh, man, today's show was a doozy. A fucking doozy. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's be respectful in the chat, y'all. He's got a point, man. Let's be respectful. We want to have respectful dialogue on this show. Always respectful dialogue, we don't want to, like you said, everybody's in a different phase, Y'all lucky you ain't catch me in one of my older phases. I'd have been spazzing on this bitch. Fucking Roger Rabbit on this bitch. I had a lot of energy. Nah, I just ain't got energy for that shit no more. Wasted it on. I didn't waste it. I got busy. I can't say I got busy. When I was younger, man, y'all motherfuckers wasn't living like me. You motherfuckers wasn't living life like me. You know what my 20s was like, nigga? We was running these streets. What? We was outside. We was outside. All legal too. All legal too. I'm just talking about strictly fun. I was not involved in any street shit. Let's just keep it, let's just, in case anybody thought anything otherwise. There was no street shit involved. Oh. Okay. I'm trying to get my call straight and these did Matari? Oh yeah, I spoke to Tari already. All right, so we good. All right, that's the last of the calls. Phone lines is closed. Oh man, today's show is amazing. We connected with people, we talked to people. Man, y'all lucky Tanai was in the lab, because if Tanai wasn't in the lab, I'd have had to put this shit, I'd have had to sell this. Man, we about to put this shit behind a paywall. I'm about to put this whole episode behind a paywall, nigga. Y'all, nobody deserve. Only people that deserve is the people that was here for the live. Let's keep it real. Paywall. This shit going for $97, and I'm gonna split it with Shakka. The origin of white people. Yeah. Retro Neon said, how high are you right now, Hotep? From a scale to 1 to 5, like a 4, 3.7, like a 3.5, 3.5, 3 out of 3.7. Yeah, if Tanai was on it, yeah, Chaz, it would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. Hey, thanks, Tari. It's the Grift Report, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. You know when it comes for the best fucking coverage of the bullshit.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And the real shit. Like I always said, man, ancestors got us. The mummies, motherfucker. You know what happens when you go disturb the mummies and shit. You know what I mean? We got the motherfucking mummies. Got the spirit of mummies behind me. Get your HotepCon tickets. Come hang out with your boy. Come hang out with Cannon, Rook, Tanai, Cooley coming, Project Rook. It's gonna be something else, man. It's up. Don't forget your discount for the brain pills. Don't forget your brain pills. You know what I'm saying? See it right there. Link in the description box below. You know what I'm saying? 30% off and all of that. You don't got to do nothing. Once you go to checkout, you're going to see a discount. Once you go to checkout, you're going to see a discount right there. My new herbal company. You know what I'm saying? People say, yo, Hotep, how can we support you? Help me help you. You know what I mean? Pop these brain pills. You know what I mean? These is the motherfucking official red pills. They not red, but they red pills. You know, clear your motherfucking mind up. I got some more shit coming too.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
QR code on the screen also gets you 30% off. QR code right there on the screen also gets 30% off. And you know what? None of this is possible without Syscoin. None of this is possible without Patrick, Alex, Jag, Nathan, whole squad, Trap Fire Guy. None of this is possible without them. You know what I'm saying? So mad love to the squad. I'm back tonight with Cannon. Uncle on vacation. Uncle on vacation. We might pull up Uncle Hotep's workout videos on the stream tonight. I might put that in there. I might put Uncle Hotep might be on the thumbnail tonight. I might put Uncle Hotep on the thumbnail tonight. It's gonna say Hotep's been told you whatever. I think it's 265 or 266. 265. Uncle Hotep's on vacation. So when y'all see it, y'all know y'all got the right stream. Y'all heard it here first. Uncle Hotep on vacation. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.